Tonight's episode of the 31st Lap Podcast is brought to you by Deyo, Chrysler, Dodge Jeep, and Ram, serving the Finger Lakes since 1963. And Creekside Entertainment for your DJ, karaoke, and photo booth needs. Think Creekside. And DirtTrackDigest.com. If it's on dirt, it's on Dirt Track Digest.
This is the 31st Lap Podcast, recorded live in the studios of FingerLakes1.com in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now, your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, good day. Welcome to the 31st Lap. I'm Chris Marquardt. Joining me in the studio, we've got Rich Post, and we've also got Mike Mallett. Mike, so energetic and excited to be here.
Thrilled.
Rich is over there feverishly tweeting away, letting everybody on the Facebook world know that we are up and running with episode number 98, just 2 away from the century mark. So we're kind of excited, looking forward to that. Got David Gravel joining us on the Creekside Entertainment Hotline a little bit later on. Rookie of the Year winner for the World of Outlaws Sprint Cars, and he also just picked up a new ride. Going to be driving for Phoenix Racing. We'll be catching up with him a little bit. We're going to try and catch up with Brett Deyo. Happy birthday to him. We're not sure if we're going to catch him in what kind of state. If we do catch up with him, he'll be in. So
yeah, that one was.
You should get the mic, bro.
You're going to need that.
Hey, I needed a microphone. I got it.
We finally found a way to keep him quiet.
I know. I got the
don't give him a
microphone
mic.
now. Yeah, Brett Deyo, I talked to him a little bit earlier tonight. Got some stuff from him to talk about the shows that he's got coming up. Looks like a pretty good 2014 for Mr. Brett Deyo. Nice $5,000 to win championship with the Super Series, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. So.
And are we talking about the other parts and pieces, or are we waiting until we get with him?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you want to save that for a little later on in the
I
show?
do. I mean,
or,
it's just,
or what do you want to do?
It's just interesting that he made that decision.
To do what? To go passing points?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'll save that. I already told him I'm going to rip him apart for it. So.
Good news is
No,
Thomas
I was
isn't
kidding.
here, so.
Yeah, I know. I told him.
The only friend that he was going to have in the room.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's fine. It's I don't want to get into it now. We'll save it. We're going to serve it for the goods later.
Yeah.
So
Good.
well, look at this big news. Breaking news. Cornwall Speedway sold.
Really?
To who?
Yeah.
Or you haven't gotten that far
I don't know.
yet.
He hasn't read that far down on the story.
Still
Nope.
researching.
I just saw it.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
Is it on the internet? It
They're
must
not.
be
They're
true.
not public yet. So
Well,
yeah.
so was that leaked or what? What was the situation with that? Because that breaking news, the track sold. By the way, we're not telling you anything.
Yeah, you know what though? That's usually how those deals go, isn't
Yeah.
it? Stuff
Well,
like
it's
that.
true.
So
I mean, how long was Weed Sport sold? How long was Rolling Wheels sold?
yeah, Weedsport was sold for 6 months before any of us actually could say anything, right?
Yeah. How much cool stuff was going on at Utica Road that you wouldn't tell us about, but you kept teasing and teasing and teasing?
Mhm.
But then it finally came out, and it's all freaking awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Awesome is my word of the night, by the way.
Is it?
I'm going to go with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, you know what?
So we're gonna hear awesome
Actually-
in Eastern States time and time again.
Oh, I love Eastern States. But
But it's not awesome tonight.
no, that's not where I'm going with awesome. I'll save that for something else. You know what? One show I am going to do an all Aussie night where I just use the word massive, which is what Peter Britton said to me after his first victory at Brewerton.
Yeah.
This is massive. So massive.
Massive.
I actually sat with him at the dirt banquet and I asked him if he remembered that. He's like, no.
Hey, who the hell are you?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I normally get. So
Welcome to the club.
Doesn't it make you feel good? Obviously, I'm doing the work of saints here.
You know,
Doing these
it's funny.
interviews.
Did you see one of the topics this week on the DirtTrackDigest.com forum was, who you met in racing or people you met, and I got to tell you, it's been a good year for that. It's been pretty cool. I mean, with all the different people I've met, and most of them positive. Most.
Most.
Some
What
people-
percentage when you have an interaction with a driver, be it somebody that you've known forever or it's a new guy that you've never met before, what percentage of them are on quote unquote good terms?
What do you mean? My relationships with them good terms?
Yeah, I like the experience that you walk away from it. It's something that's a positive one. 80%, 70%, 90%.
I've had a few guys call me names or get mad at me about questions I ask, or they yell. They're not yelling at me. Well, they're yelling at me, but they're not yelling about me. They're yelling about something else that happened.
They're
or whatever.
yelling at you because you happen to be in front of them.
Because I have to be the guy that asks the question.
Right.
What's going on here? Why did this just happen, or what happened there, or what broke? Usually when a guy breaks and you can tell they're pissed off, I normally try to just ask the crew guy.
I don't avoid
Yeah,
that
I don't.
driver.
I don't go.
What broke?
Yeah, what went wrong? What happened? You know, if you're leading or whatever, because you know how depressing that is.
Oh,
So you,
No.
I try not to get in the guy's face and be like, "So what happened?" Right after they get out of the car and they're like, and every other word out of their mouth is a word you can't say
or print.
or print. Well, I guess you can, but it's not gonna bode well for that gentleman.
Legitimate media usually asks the questions and prints, but censors a little bit of the quote. But
Yep, yeah, I don't. I try to give guys a fair shake.
yeah,
You know, like there's certain guys, you know, if you talk to them and they're mad and they give you something, I'll try to either go back later or
at least clean it up so I don't
Yeah,
look crazy.
At least ask for the
right,
artistic.
or I'll say,
ability
hey,
to
do you want me?
fix that.
You want me to change that, or I'll text them or call them. You know,
It's like, did you really mean to call?
do you
him?
want me to say that or no? You know, so that's you know, I think that's being respectful to the guy.
Yeah.
That's my ultimate goal in this sport.
Well,
you know,
that right there is how you're going to get another interview.
right? Exactly, and that's
Because if you don't do that,
right. And you got to give every guy justice and be fair to everyone. And again, regardless, and you know, if you follow me on Twitter or whatever, I always try to be unbiased on my tweets. Like even if I disagree with a call, or if somebody dumps somebody and clearly they dumped them and nothing happens, I try not to interject my opinion because my opinion doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, well, that's
Ultimately,
that's
in
not
that
a lie.
circumstance,
Your
yeah.
opinion, if you're really going the angle of objective media, your opinion doesn't matter.
Right,
it
your
doesn't.
opinion doesn't matter.
You report on what you see in front of you, and you leave the editorializing out of it. I mean, that's one of the biggest things that I was always so, I don't know, frustrated with is all of the soapboxing that goes on with the columnists when I was working
Jesus.
at Gator.
you could have
It's
never
like,
rid.
yeah, I mean, you know,
Read
get out there.
mine.
You've got 50 drivers in the pit area. Go do an interview with somebody. Don't stand there on the inside of the
Yeah,
third turn or on the
yeah.
infield or in the grandstands or whatever. And just, I mean,
That was one of my things. Like whoever,
you're giving your opinion
right,
about the same thing that's going to be in the track press release that is going to be on the same page as what you just wrote.
right. And my whole thing is, I always tell anybody that writes for me, you know, we've got one guy that
Writes
covers.
for you where? Writes for you
on
where?
Dirt Track Digest.
Oh, right.
I tell all my guys, I want quotes. I want you to get to the drivers, talk to the drivers, okay? Because I can read a race report. You know, we can all read race reports.
Right.
So go at least get one quote. If you want to write about what happened, I like that. Do that, but then get quotes from the guys that did something or the guys that are important or, you know, the top three or, you know, if you read my stuff, I try
Relevant.
to get, you know, 5 to 8 interviews to use in, you know, in my various places. I put a lot of it on Dirt Track Digest, but also Area Auto Racing News, of course, and, you know, you go from there. I mean, I think that's the...
I mean, it's automatic. Automatic, you should be interviewing the top three and an early leader if something goes wrong
Yeah.
with their car.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, at Rolling Wheels, interview the top three and Brett Hearn.
Yeah. I did talk to Brett after he ran out of gas. You know, it is. But that's what you got to do. I mean, what would people rather read? I mean, personally, I don't think anybody wants to read what my opinion is. I don't think.
I don't either. I never really got into a situation where I thought my opinion was that
guess,
important.
I mean, I'm not I don't know if I wouldn't even call myself a columnist. Then I guess I don't know what it is, but because I don't.
You're a race reporter.
You report the race that you saw. It's not necessarily a race report where you're writing a lap by lap. Like we've done the race report things. Those suck.
No, they don't.
They don't suck, but they're not as fun
the
to
thing
write.
is, well, they can be. You got to make them. You got to
Depends
make
on
them
what
entertaining.
race
Yeah.
you're talking about.
That's-
Oh no, yeah, I've written my
even
fair
disagree.
share of that
I-
was a good race, and oh my god, what am I going to write about this? The track took rubber on lap 6, and it was choo choo. You know, everybody
You know
right around the
but
bottom.
you know what? That's the kind of story that makes it easy to write because if it's one that's simple like that, go blow that one out. Get
Yeah.
a couple interviews with the top three.
Get it
you know,
done.
a couple thoughts. Get that one done, and that opens you up to do something with the sportsman division.
Yeah,
Or one of the underclasses,
If
or
you want, yeah.
a feature, you know, because you're not going to be tied down.
Yeah.
How many different questions are you going to ask the guy that?
well, how
led
many
flag
different
to
questions
flag?
can you really? Let's ask you this: how many
What?
different questions can you ask a guy? Period. I mean,
How many
I always
different
start
questions?
with, "Hey, good run. Tell me about the race." Like,
There's 3 questions. There's 3 questions, and basically you start with those, and you ask questions based off of whatever they say
then
back
with the
to
guy
you.
here, and
You
then
expand on that if there's
Right.
anything to expand on. If you
Right.
say, "Hey, how was the run tonight?" and they say good, you move on to number 2. And if that
Yeah.
answer's good, you move on to number 3,
Well, I
and
always
then you
told-
move on.
What was it? I always told.
Then you go find the 4th place finisher and get another one.
Yeah, I always talk to Josh Phillips worked under me with announcing. You know, he's learning how to announce. I said, "There's 3 questions he asks in every interview." Said, how happy are you to win the race or whatever? You know what I mean? What's it mean to win? How'd you win? And then the third one is anybody, sponsors, whoever. Always make sure you give the guy the opportunity to thank their sponsors. Some guys automatically do it, but some guys are also so pumped up that they're down there they forget stuff, or they wouldn't do it if you didn't ask them.
My 3 go-tos are always the same. What's your reaction to the win?
Yep.
How did you win? And what was the turning point? How did you know at that point?
Right,
How did
that
you
you were gonna
know?
win this race, yeah.
Because I don't know, and this is where you and I differ all the time. I can see the sponsors on the side of the car, and if it's a race report, it's a race report.
Well,
not an
I
advertisement.
don't put like I'm talking announcing. When I do a race report,
okay.
I put minimal amounts of the sponsor stuff in there. It's more the other fluff stuff.
Are you using the race sponsors? The sanction?
Well, here's the thing.
race,
when you're writing a race
good
report,
question. That's a really good question.
Like when I do a race report, they call it Napa Auto Parts Super Dirt Week. So when I write that race report for Ariano, that's my traditional event. I put Napa Auto Parts Super Dirt Week finale because that's what it is. Or if it's the Gander Mountain 150,
right.
It's the Gander Mountain 150. That's what the race is called. So I think you have to put the sponsor in the race.
If you look at the media guide that Dirt used to put out years ago, basically it tells you what you're going to call each of the events.
Right.
It tells you pretty much. Spells all that out. So there's no guesswork to it. Not everybody follows the rules. I mean, I've misidentified the series.
Oh, I told you what was it last week we were
before.
talking. Kevin Kovac told me like a year later that I used to put advanced auto parts.
Yeah.
We were talking about. I'm like, thanks for telling me.
Yeah,
Right.
I used to do the same thing.
Yeah, you screw up something. Like I'd rather the guy just tell me flat out you're screwing this up. But
By the way, that sucked. Don't do that again.
yeah, don't do that again. Okay,
yeah, I wish I could have got some of that feedback when I tried writing.
Well, when you start writing for me, you will.
And something tells me it's going to be brutally honest.
Oh, it will be.
Which is okay because
right.
I'd prefer that.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Just don't censor
Are you
me.
actually gonna step up? Are you gonna write?
Well, yeah, I'm done with.
I'm
done with this semester of college now. I finished it.
So now
today.
you've learned how to write.
No, I knew how to do that. That I knew how to do.
Really?
I just didn't know how to do it well.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
there
Okay.
you go.
All right. He didn't know.
Hey,
He
Chris.
didn't know when to use the
Eat it,
period.
bud.
He didn't know when to use the period. It's a concept he just figured out.
Didn't know when to use the period. Struggled with a comma and wasn't
Yep.
really sure on the shift key.
There's a shift key.
That's the funny one. Dino put in the chat room. Gary Tompkins, Tompki.
Yeah,
the most. That is the most messed up name.
That
usually.
is- that one
Usually.
gets butchered pretty bad.
Yep.
A lot.
Yep. Not that we all haven't had typos or whatever. I mean, I
God.
put somebody's name as I talked to Brad. I think it was Brad Rapp, and I put something else, and then it autocorrected it the whole story, and I went back and read it quick. I was trying to get it up because I had to be out of the hotel by a certain time, and then I get a text from somebody else goes, "Hey, dude, you spelled this guy. You put Nick or something." I'm like, "Oh, crap." So then I got to go back, log on at like McDonald's, and fix the whole thing because I screwed up. You know, it's hard when when I'm traveling. It's like
you're traveling,
you get to the hotel, you do some work at night. Usually, like I'm by myself, so I'm doing photos and I do the writing. So I try to get the photos done at night, and if I can, type a little bit of the interviews and so on and so forth before I go to bed. And then I get up in the morning and I finish things up. But if anybody that knows me knows I'm not a morning person, but I have to be. So I get up, and you type as quick as you can, you do as much as you can to get it out, because you want to get that coverage of that event out as soon as it happens. I try to do. Yeah, exactly.
Now.
Like
that.
My
information,
theory.
That information has a shelf life.
Yeah. That's tough for somebody like you who's doing a Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Well, what I try to do for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's tough because our front page, there's only room for just so much. So what I try to do is give the tracks on Saturday morning and Sunday morning. I give them the front page, and then I'll have a weekly column that usually comes out Monday night or Tuesday morning. And then if I do a midweek show, usually it's the next day or the day after that goes up.
Right.
It's a job, full time.
The other hard part is getting sponsor spells correctly. Sometimes that's an issue.
Oh yeah, you got to write that down, and
and
every now and then you meet guys that run weird. Like I always like to put the chassis builder and the motor builder. I don't know why, that's something I've always done.
Mm-hmm.
And you meet some guys when you go to these different places, like, who the hell is this? They tell you in the interview, and you play it back, and you're listening. And you're like, I don't know who the hell that is.
How the hell
yeah,
Who's
those
that?
yeah,
Who's that?
Those syllables get completely swallowed.
That's the moment that disappears from the article.
And you also got to
Yeah.
make sure that nobody gets into your computer, because that
That's still my favorite story.
that is.
Calls me at 7:30 in the hotel in Cornwall. Hey, did you change something to my story? I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you mean you don't know what you're talking about? Because somebody did.
Wasn't me. I had nothing to do with it.
Do you have
Somebody did.
another time travel moment?
No, not at all.
Nope. He
not,
just
not at all.
You ever heard this story?
You've never heard this story
I've
before?
heard bits and pieces
Needless
of
to
it.
say, we were at Autodrome Edelweiss, and
it was
Chris
during
left
the-
his
I was-
laptop.
Well,
It was-
clarify. The
I'll
whole
tell
thing.
the story. He was a 358
Thanks.
series.
Yeah,
He was
tell
a
the story, Marvin.
358 series PR guy. Okay, and he was walking around all in the pits, getting the guys' names, because you got to do names, sponsors, hometown, all of that for the press release, because he put it at the end of the roster. Well, he's going around do that. Well, he left his computer on Dan. What's his name? Dan.
Deck of Dan Miller's car.
Dan Miller's car, right? And Stewie was driving it, freezing. So Stewie changes Brett Hearn's sponsors.
Oh, Jesus.
I won't say what the whole thing was. It was
Four-star
let's just say he changed
transmission
Brett Hearn's
services.
name and Sussex, New Jersey, and the sponsor from 4-Star Transmissions to 4-Star Escort Service. So
So we caught
he caught the first two, thankfully, because those were way worse. I can tell you that.
we caught the bad ones,
Yeah, and then but the 4-Star Escort Service.
but it made that one really bad.
yeah, and that one went out.
And that one went out.
So he calls
Gone.
me. Yeah, he calls
On
me in
its
the
way.
morning. He's like, "Dude, did you change?" I'm like, "I didn't touch anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Wasn't me."
Lesson learned, Chris.
We found out who did it, and Stu Friesen still gets good laughs out of it.
As he has well earned.
Oh, it's awesome.
Oh,
It's
man.
awesome. It's still the funniest thing.
Bet you never left the laptop
I've
laying
seen-
around again.
No, he didn't. He
Well, the
literally-
thing is I wasn't even. I didn't. You're making it sound like I left it in the parking lot, and I was over in turn one. I was one car removed, looking at quarter panel, and Stewie jumped in there, and he must have had it planned. You know what I mean? Like it was in the back of his head that it was gonna get. He was gonna get it.
He's quick.
And,
He's
and
funny.
he just dive bombed that computer, and he hit it right now, and he got it changed, and I come walking back, and I didn't think anything of it, and I printed the rosters out and everything. Everything was flying along, no problem. Nobody even noticed it. I noticed the first two amendments.
well, they
that
were
he made.
pretty easy to notice.
They were they didn't belong in that story.
It was pretty funny. To this day, I still laugh.
It is funny. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not
I hate
funny.
the inside joke thing. I feel bad doing that, but
But-
we can't say it on the air. It's
No.
not-
But there's no way. I mean, that's not an inside joke. That's just we're not going to do that.
Yeah, we
But
can't.
we so I sent it out, and Tom Skavinsky calls me, and he goes, "Did you proofread that?" And I go, "Tom, I went through everything. I just like I always do." He goes, "You went through everything." Yeah. And he goes, "You want to take a look at Vinny Salerno's car?" So I pull it up, and he goes, "That's transmission services, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Oh God."
No, they changed it.
It was a one
It was a
deal.
one-off deal.
It was a one race deal.
One race deal. Awesome.
Like,
that is great.
How was Tom's sense of humor on that?
Wasn't.
Yeah.
There was no sense of humor.
I don't know if he ever really had a good sense of humor, but he definitely didn't have it.
Not
day.
on that one.
That still wasn't funny, huh?
No, there was.
I wonder if you told him the whole story if he'd think it's funny.
Oh, I told him the whole story.
Yep.
And he didn't believe a word of it. He goes, "You need to be more responsible." I'm like, "Thanks, Dad."
Well, with that,
Oh,
That was-
you want to make a phone call?
Yeah. We're gonna talk. Washed up motorsports writers share stories about how awful they are.
Yeah, that's easy to do though. 'Cause we all
yes,
suck.
I was awful.
Well, don't worry. We'll work on you. We'll get you better.
Yeah, I can write. I was just absolutely atrocious at writing the proper things.
Pat Ward smells Billy Decker. I remember, that was a good night too.
Learned a valuable lesson that time.
Oh,
Don't hang out with J.R. Hurlbert. Oh, good old times. Good times.
It's always nice when times can be fun,
Yeah, you know.
especially at Chris's expense.
Oh yeah. Well, that was my expense.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah.
little return of favor.
You might want to turn your microphone on.
Yeah,
if you're
your
gonna
mic's
talk.
off.
I got the right to race reports that night.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. I do not recall that. How about 31st lap there, Chris?
We're still crash
He
course.
keeps doing that. What is this? You
Can
know,
we ju- can
try
we
to promote his show on here all the
Can
time.
we have their numbers?
So
My microphone was off. No one was even going to know what was said.
Except for the
we
guy we're
heard
interviewing.
It. We heard it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, joining us on the Creekside Entertainment Hotline right now is none other than the 2013 World of Outlaws Rookie of the Year, David Gravel. David, how are we doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Yeah, no complaints other than the snow, and we're not racing, but we got to get through that right before we go racing.
Yeah, it's going to go by fast, you know, with Charlotte and Volusia, you know. It's not too long.
No, it's got to be a nice little bit of a break, isn't it, considering all the traveling and everything you have to do with the World of Outlaws?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely good to have a little bit of a break, but it does get boring throughout the weeks. You know, that's why I go to Australia, but, you know, the holidays keep you busy.
I know you had a pretty impressive 2013 season. You know, first year running full-time with the Outlaws, got that first Outlaw win, also won a preliminary night at the Knoxville Nationals. Take us through that rookie season. I know you had the hiccup in there. You know, I believe you had mono, and that kind of set you back a little bit, but nonetheless, still a pretty impressive season.
Thanks. It was actually my second career Outlaw win. I won in 2011, but it was a good season. It was a very rough road. Back into my car after I drove Bills out west, we struggled for a while. And, once we got going around Knoxville time, and then won at Knoxville, and, when we really got things rolling, I got sick. So it was definitely a huge buzzkill, and it was real hard for me to, sit at home and have those guys go out west again. Then it took me, a few races to get back in the swing of things, and, just when I'm getting the hang of it at the National Open and, do good at the last night of Charlotte, the season's over. So it's just one of those things, if everything went perfect for my season, we could have had a really, really good season. But, there's nothing you could do. I still got Rookie of the Year and, won more features than I won, in the past 2 years. So I can't complain.
How cool was it to win a preliminary night in Knoxville?
It's huge. The biggest race that there is for us. And, I was started on the front row, I believe, and, thinking, I just got to finish in the top 3 or 4, and I'll be locked in CA main. But, lead most of the laps and win is great. It's definitely a awesome moment with my whole family there. They don't get to go to many races. It was, it was just amazing.
This year you gave up the All-Stars, ended up going out full-time with the World of Outlaws. What was the biggest adjustment for you? I mean, you ran very well with the All-Stars. I mean, you've done your speed weeks. You were always successful and so on. What was the biggest adjustment or the hardest thing for you to get a grasp on going out on the road with the Outlaws?
With me getting sick, I didn't really run more races than I did in the past. But, just from Florida going out west, not having that big break in between, which I think helped me, was just, racing more and more. But just going to a bunch of new places, and it's definitely grueling on the road. There's definitely a little bit more traveling going on. But, you race with the best guys in the business, but it really, this year showed me that you really, really needed a strong engine program to get qualified with these guys on a consistent basis. When we had our good motor in, we could qualify well, but when we had our, say our least horsepower motor out of the bunch, it's so hard to make the invert. And, when you don't make the invert and you're starting in the back of each feature, it makes it hard to be successful.
Now this year we know you got a new opportunity as a result of, last year, which you split up between, obviously you drove Bill's car for a little bit, then you did the deal on your own. New opportunity, Phoenix Racing. How excited are you about that, and what does that have in store for you?
I'm definitely super excited. At the end of this year, I got to drive for other people and actually got to be, a hired gun. So, entering the year as a hired driver and all that, there'll probably be a little bit more pressure, but I'm definitely super excited. Tom and his family are good people, and Bonsai and Kyle Ripper working on the car. So I'll have good guys working on the car, and we got some good rider engines, and it seems like every time I'm in the Maxim, I run well. So I'm definitely excited. Their car's fast, and, we're going to focus mainly on Outlaw shows, and, we're probably going to do pretty much all of them but the West Coast stuff, really. So I'm definitely excited to see what this year holds.
So you're going to do the Outlaw West Coast stuff. Any plans to run stuff closer to home? Is it going to be Ohio-based schedule when you're not on the road with the Outlaws, or what's the plans there?
I'm not exactly sure yet. We got to see how the schedules lay out. Obviously the Outlaws is out, but we're actually going to start at Ocala and race Volusia, and we'll race East Bay with a 360, and then, the Outlaws will go out west, and, we'd probably pick up at, like, Eldora or something like that, but all the stuff, North and South Dakota over, east we'll run. We're probably going to run all the New York shows and, Pennsylvania shows and New Egypt, all the stuff like that, because, still like to race closer to home.
One of the questions that came in here, we have a live chat that goes on as we talk to, do our interviews. We got a lot of fan interaction here on the Creekside Entertainment Hotline. What are your plans? Are there any plans? We know last year you ran the Buffalo Wild Wings car as well. Are there any plans to have that at any time, or was that like a one-off deal?
Really, I ran that car. We were talking about the next year already to drive for him next year. So it was kind of like a tryout session, and it was either going to be this car I'm driving now or the Buffalo Wild Wings car. But they kind of changed their mind on what they wanted to do next year. So they're not going to be hiring a full-time driver. They're just going to hire drivers here and there, kind of like they did this year. So, obviously I need something full-time, and, who knows, I could maybe run a few races in their car this year if they want me to.
Okay, so that answers the one question here coming in. Now, all the tracks you went to this year, which track, new track, did you have the most fun at, and which track was the most difficult for you to adjust to?
The most fun new track that I went to this year probably has to be I-94 Speedway at Fergus Falls, Minnesota, where I won, because the Outlaws have never been there, and it was kind of an even playing field, and obviously I got the win. So when you win, it makes it more fun. And the most difficult, or that I had the least amount of fun, I can't really tell you. You try to forget all the bad nights you have. Sometimes you have really, really bad nights at the Grove, but, we finally had a good night at the National Open, and I had a ton of fun there. So, it's just one of those things you try to have, fun in all the tracks, because that's why we do it.
Take us back a little bit through your history and your racing career. You're a kid that's from Connecticut, and obviously that's not necessarily the hotbed of sprint car racing. So how did you decide to go sprint car racing? We know you ran up through the 360 ranks with the RC and so on, but what made you get into the sprint car racing?
Racing quarter midgets. We would race at the dirt grands, which was one race a year. So I would race on dirt once a year, and I loved it, and I did pretty well. And then after quarter midgets, we bought a micro sprint to race at Whip City in Massachusetts. And we bought a Legend car to race the asphalt. So I raced the Legends on Wednesday, and I raced the Micros on Saturday. And, I just fell in love with the Micro, had more fun, did a little bit better in the Micro, and, just kind of pursued that. And, raced in Pennsylvania with the Micros, and I got to see my first sprint car race we were racing at Trailways, but got rained out and watched a race at Lincoln. And, they're just really, really fast if you've never seen a sprint car race before, and, just decided that's the route we wanted to go.
Another question coming in here on the in the chat room. People want to know, you still have a good relationship with Bill Rose, and how was that, how did that relationship get started?
Bill ran the All-Stars for 1 or 2 years, and, we always got along real well, and, he had a dog, and, I love dogs, so we got along really good. And, after when Bill got hurt in Volusia, I think my crew guy talked to him about me driving, and, we got the deal done for me to drive his car, and, the relationship's good. I talk to Bill, every once in a while. He does it on a shoestring budget, and, it's just so hard for him to do it, and, I don't really know how much he's going to race this coming year, but we have a good relationship, and I appreciate everything he, let me drive in his car this past year, because I wouldn't have been able to do the whole Outlaw thing and, get Rookie of the Year and all that. So I'm very thankful.
Now, with getting the Phoenix ride and doing those races with that team, what's the deal with your team now, driving for your dad and so on? Where's that team? Is that still around, or is that something that's just on the back burner now since you got the other ride?
Well, it was my dad's partial owner with a guy, Ray Capella, who owns a trucking company around here. He's the one that really purchased everything for us. My dad and I just have a bunch of sponsors that we've had throughout my career, and, my dad definitely can't afford to do it, and, that's why I really need to move on and drive somebody else's car, because, I didn't make any money and all that. But we sold all our Mopar engines already. We have one car left that we're going to keep together that we ran at Charlotte just in case, and our trailer is for sale. But, like all the little things, you can never replace, when having a sprint car team. So, we have a decent amount of stuff left, and, I'm not really sure which way we're going to go yet, but, we're just going to keep a car just in case, and we might purchase an engine just to have there sitting.
So, yeah, it's always good to have the spare parts because you never know when you might need those, especially in sprint car racing, especially, the different schedules you guys run and so on and so forth. I've had a chance to chat with you a bunch of times. When the Outlaws come east, I've talked to you at Middletown and, Williams Grove.
We had him on our live show at Rolling Wheels.
Yes, we did, yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
On the live show at Rolling Wheels. How nice is it to race in the east now when you do come home to have family and friends around? Because I know something we've talked about in the past is you don't get a lot of time to spend with family and friends when you're out on the road.
No, definitely. The racing season is tough for East Coast people because there's times where I won't be home for 2 to almost 3 months. So when you can race at Lebanon Valley, which is only a little over an hour away, and Middletown, which is only about an hour away, I get 50 to 60 people to come watch me race. So, and then after that, we could bring the car home and park it in our driveway, and I get to sleep in my own bed. So it's definitely great to race, close to home because, being from Connecticut, nobody has any idea what a sprint car is. People think it's just really a hobby, and I race like go-karts or something, because people just have no idea. So it's good for people to see, what I do, and good for sponsors to watch me race also. Well, we don't want to keep you too much longer. We appreciate your time today, but one thing we like to do here on the show is we always want to give a chance for a driver to either, thank whatever sponsors you'd like to thank. Also, if you'd like to, talk about your website, your Twitter, anything like that, feel free to give all that information out now. Again, we do appreciate you coming on. All righty. I have a website. It's davidgravel89.com. I have Twitter, which is davidgravel89G. I have a racing Facebook page. It's David Gravel Racing. All my sponsors that helped me this past year. First, I got to thank my dad, Ray Capella, Musco Fuel, Modelcraft, P&M Transportation, J&J, Kistler Engines, Astro Titanium, Butler Built Seats, RE Technologies, Wings Unlimited. Everybody gave us great deals and helped us as much as they could. There's several other guys. FMR Racing, Frank Manfort, I got to thank him. There's a lot of guys that made it possible, and we did it on the least amount of money that we could do it on, and without any of those people, we wouldn't be able to do it. And got to thank Tom and Sherry Lighting for giving me the opportunity this year, and hopefully have a good season. Well, man, thanks a lot. We appreciate your time here tonight, and have a great holiday, and we look forward to seeing you down in Volusia. All right, you too. Merry Christmas. You too.
Same to you.
So, David Gravel here on the Creekside Entertainment Hotline, and I just got the word that you can give Mr. Deyo a call here in a minute.
All right.
So we will have Brett Deyo. You got his number on your phone?
Yeah, I usually have
so we will have Brett Deyo here momentarily, but David Gravel, good dude. I've had a chance to talk to him. Even, I don't know if you guys recall, you remember when he ran the Save the Boobs car? You ever see that car? It was black.
I do. I think I recall that.
Yeah, black and the pink, but
that's always a favor.
Yeah, he did that as a favor.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't sponsorship or anything like that. They wanted to do something different, and he did it as a favor to a family member or a friend. So he put it on the car. So that was pretty neat.
Always an honorable cause.
Yeah, very honorable cause. So
save second base.
So good luck to him. Phoenix Racing. Obviously, that ride, for those that don't know, was vacated by Jack Haudenschild. Haudenschild drove that car last year to multiple wins, and then he headed over to Destiny Motorsports with the hopes of them going more full-time outlaw stuff here in what are you doing over there, Chris?
I'm trying to make a graphic for Brett.
Oh, for Brett Day. I heard the beeping in my ear. That's fine.
That's what it was. It's me over here.
Yep.
He's pushing buttons again.
It's me over here being a computer nerd.
Being a dork.
At least you can be open about it.
That's all right.
At least it's okay.
You're fine with it. So when we get Dale on the phone, we'll chat with him about, obviously, the big news that came out here was the Super Series that he's doing. We'll get his thoughts on that. Also announced today, Thunder Mountain joining the Brett Deyo family of racetracks, so to speak. And then also we'll talk a little bit about moving the Super Nationals and what he has to say on that. Again, just get his thoughts. And it is his birthday, so we'll have to give him a little bit of crap about that, too.
We should. It would only be right.
Oh, well, we have to. It's required by law that we do it. So we'll be doing that.
I can tell you,
and again, if those of you listening are in the chat room, if you got questions for Brett, let's have them. We'll get them. We'll do as much as we can. as
Passing
many as we
points.
can
What
ask.
were you thinking?
Yes, exactly. That'll be the first thing. No.
No, the first thing's happy birthday. Then it's
Yeah.
passing
Then we
points.
razzed
What
him
the hell
about
were you
being over
thinking?
30, and then I think he turned 31 today. He said so.
Okay, we got Deyo's thing in there. Now I just gotta.
You got it. Now
Yeah.
you just gotta
Now I just gotta call him.
give him a call.
I hope. I haven't had to call him in forever.
You still
I don't
got
know
his
if
number?
I have it. I don't ever delete a phone number, but
Yeah, no, I
never
got 8 million in my phone.
Come on, go ahead and shout it out right now.
I don't
Mike.
Well, it's on his website. You can call it.
I could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, true.
Yeah. So.
The other great thing about Brett Deyo, he's there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, this is what he does. You know, he promotes races and he does a
Hell
of a
good
job at it. You know, so.
As I sit back here in the off season, I start looking at what I can get to outside of Ontario
How do you know
County.
when your off season starts and stops?
Me?
I just make it up as I go along.
No, Rich's.
It's mostly off season, but I sit and I look at what Brett's got coming out more at a time, and it's, how do you miss those?
Yep. We got it. Chris has got him locked into the setup. Turn your microphone.
I've got
on.
him in. Yes.
All right. Do you got the graphic? Put the graphic up.
Yeah, get it off my ugly mug.
Come on. Yeah. Well, I'm looking at myself on this because it's behind. That's just as bad.
You guys.
All right. So
You
joining
guys
us
are so
now
funny.
on the Creekside Entertainment Hotline.
Look at that.
Nice job.
Like it was a science.
Is none other than promoter and BD Motorsports Media owner Brett Deyo. Brett, hey, happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, Brett.
Getting a little old, 31 today.
Yeah, you're on the downward spiral now, man. After 30, it's all downhill.
It's kind of depressing now.
Yeah, now you can't say, oh, I'm only 30. No, 31.
Well,
But
after the 30, it starts. You don't look forward to the birthdays anymore.
nope. There's nothing good about it. Nothing good about it. Did Heather at least get you something nice for your birthday?
Not at 8
Yeah,
o'clock.
we had a good day. Actually, a good couple of days. I like to stretch mine out to a birthday week with my guilt trip, so we're doing all right.
Well, Brett, a lot of big news, coming out here. I think the biggest one we'll talk is the addition of the passing points at the Orange County Fair Speedway. And why don't you talk to us about why did you go with the passing points and maybe not some other method of qualifying?
It's kind of a challenge with qualifying for modifieds because personally, I like a draw for position. I like the possibility of passing. I mean, it puts cars up front that might not be able to stay there, and it's completely random, and it gives the smaller teams more of a shot to get in the show. But on the other hand, the cars are getting more and more equal, where passing is more difficult. So if you pick a bad number at a place like Orange County, you might not make the feature, and I don't want the draw to completely set how the day goes. So instead of doing time trials, which I'm not a fan of, I thought this was a good compromise between the draw and the time trials. It's new to modified racing. It's worked in other forms of racing. So we're trying to do some things different for Orange County to make that a kind of a special show. So kind of compromise between the time trials and the draw and went with the passing points.
Is this something that's like maybe a trial run at Orange County, and if it works, you may do it again somewhere else, or is this just a Middletown thing?
Absolutely. Yeah, if it does work, I'd like to continue doing it. Our next race after Orange County will be Thunder Mountain, and it's something I'm definitely considering. When I was out at the PRI show last week, I bought a computer program that's going to computerize our draws, so there's no question about people looking in the bag or drawing two pills or anything like that. And this computer program can actually figure out the passing points. They use it, the same computer program that the Wissota group uses in the Upper Midwest, and we're going to have that for each of our races. And it would be really nice to do the same type of qualifying for each event. But I don't want to commit to that until I see how Orange County goes. But so far so good. I've gotten some good comments from racers who usually don't give good comments, so I'm kind of excited about it.
That's a politically correct way of saying that. I know the other, a couple other announcements here this past week. Obviously, a lot of big news coming out as always.
Can we go back to the passing points?
Oh, you want to go with the passing points?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, all right.
And-
We
and-
want to
and-
hammer
and-
passing points.
No, not at all. Not in the least at all. I mean, why choose someplace like Middletown to launch the passing points program versus someplace else? I mean, give it smaller track, bigger
It's
track.
a little bit tougher to pass at Middletown, to be very
Okay.
honest with you.
That's
And if you start 10th or 11th in a heat race for the Hard Clay Open, that's going to be a tough day for you to get to. A lot of the races we have. I mean, Super Nationals last year, we redrew 1 and qualified 2 out of 8 heats. You start 9th or 10th at Middletown, you got to get to 2
that's a tough deal. So I want to make sure everybody has a chance. And if you hustle your way from 10th to 5th at Orange County, I think you should get rewarded for that. And that's part of the reason. And I just want to make Orange County different. I mean, Orange County is my home track. I grew up there, but they fell into a pattern of doing the same thing all the time.
Right.
And I don't want to do that. With Brett Hearn and I had a really good discussion about this at the Dirt Banquet, and he said you either got to go completely dirt and make it a Super Dirt Car Series race to make it interesting, or do the complete opposite. And that's what I'm trying to do with the sail panels and the open tire, and we're allowing methanol at Orange County, which is very, very rare. The passing points, the way we do the pits. I want to make this race completely different than anything that people at Orange County are used to. Just to keep it interesting for the people in the grandstand.
I think it's a great move. I think it's going to be great, especially with the open tire. I mean, you're going to give
everybody
people...
tells me you can't pass at Orange County, so if we put sail panels on the cars and they're all pushing for the fence, some of them run a soft tire, some of them run a hard tire, somebody's got to pass.
Something's going to happen.
The way we're setting the race up, some cars have a small block, they'll be better at the end. Some of them are going to have 33 gallons of methanol trying to go 50 laps. I mean, just the way that the rules are set up, there's no way that it cannot be interesting. And, I'm excited. I mean, I think there's going to be cars in Orange County in the 19-second bracket with the sail panels on for a 5/8 mile track. I think it's going to be, one of the wilder events you'll ever see there, that's for sure.
And the thing with Brett is he does his homework on stuff like this, and he gets the opinions of all the drivers. So when Brett comes out with a decision, it's usually one that is covered many, many, many bases. And the decision to go with the open tire and the sail panels, you're right. Panels. You're doing something different, and it's real exciting to look forward to.
Yeah, and actually we're starting in the if you looked at the tire rule, the minimum softness for the American racers is the exact compounds that were run by Fonda last year. So I'm thinking, you've got 25 good teams that race at Fonda every week that need to get rid of American racer tires. So why not start out with their compounds and let them come down to Orange County and run them for $500 to take the green instead of just wasting them? And, the feedback I've gotten has been good on that. Guys like Jimmy Davis called me, and, he's excited. He's like, man, I got all these tires I have no use for. Well, now I have a use for them. And, Matt DiLorenzo, I talked to him at PRI, and he's excited to come down. And, I know I talked to Craig Hansen, Almo Reckner, that the Fonda guys, I mean, this is a great chance for them to burn off their inventory so they can come to Orange County and run for $5,000 to win and not have to buy a single tire. So I'm kind of excited about that, too.
Why Middletown? I know you mentioned a little bit about your relationship there. You grew up there, but tell us a little bit about your history at Middletown so the folks at home know. I mean, I know your history there. I went, that's where I met you, was at Orange County, but tell the folks, listening in your history at Middletown.
Yeah, I actually grew up at Orange County. My hometown is Cornwall, New York, which is about 20 minutes from the track. I spent every Saturday there, probably from preschool through I graduated high school and actually beginning of college, in the half-covered grandstands with my dad. Orange County will always be my home track. I really have a lot of good memories there of growing up. And when the phone rang one day and it was the Orange County office and Mike Gerda wanted to have a meeting with me about having a race, I was, really shocked and pretty honored to be even asked. And when he went for all my crazy ideas, and he hasn't questioned one yet, I had to be pretty excited because, this is a gamble for all of us. I mean, $30,000 purse for a modified show, one-day modified show at $20 to get in. It's a huge, huge risk. And I got to thank Middletown for taking it with me. And, anyone that says Mike Gerda doesn't want Middletown to do well or he's just bleeding off the fairgrounds, let's sit in the office that day when we have a $45,000 overhead for a one-day show. He clearly wants the place to do well, or he wouldn't have been calling me. And I just hope that it goes well, and I'm pretty encouraged so far. I've never really been a big track promoter, but I'm taking short track rules and putting them on a big track, and I think with the daytime surface and everything else, it should even everybody out.
I'm looking forward to it. I know I'll be there. I love Orange County. I love Eastern States. There you go.
What was the word for it again?
Awesome.
There you go.
Awesome.
There you go.
Orange County is awesome. All right. So we'll leave that one behind for now. And the other big news today was that you scheduled a mid-race May race at Thunder Mountain with Carl Spoonhour. A new track for you and a different promoter to work with.
Yeah, I actually got to know Carl pretty well in the early 2000s when I was going to Thunder Mountain and writing for Ariato. and he and I always got along pretty well. And Carl is not one for the promoting side per se, the websites and that type of stuff, but he's an awesome track prep guy. And he's always done a really good job with the concession stands and running a quick show. And so when he got Thunder Mountain back this year, one of the first phone calls he made was to me, and him and I talked for a while in the fall, and we kind of left it open that maybe we'd do something together. And we were lucky enough out at PRI to get a really nice points fund together for our races this year. So Carl was one of the first people I thought of, and being in that area, small track, no tire wear, kind of type of race that I was looking for. And I had a quick meeting with Carl, and he agreed to everything, and we're going to go to Thunder Mountain on Tuesday, May the 20th, and there'll be at least $5,000 to win, probably more, for 50 laps. And it's a good night for me, and it's a good night for Thunder Mountain to reintroduce people. Carl's been out of the game for 6 or 7 years, so it'll be a good night to reintroduce people to exactly how good Thunder Mountain is.
I know when Carl took it back over, he talked about the move back to Saturday nights and bringing the modifieds back. I know I'm excited. I always loved going to Thunder Mountain. It's always one of my favorite tracks in the Southern Tier. And the place, I haven't been there. I think the last show I went to there was the John White deal with that he did with Dick. And how long ago was that? I mean, that's been, since 2008? Something like that, 2009?
Yeah, it was actually 2008, and I don't know. I actually don't know what the highest amount of money ever paid at Thunder Mountain was, but I'm pretty sure that we'll be close to it or top it for our event. And Carl, I can tell already, is going to be someone that I'm going to work well with. We had a great conversation on the phone the other night, and probably an hour and a half laughing. And he's got a good sense of humor, and we're pretty similar on our thoughts about stuff. And I'm excited. It fits exactly what I need, for my short track events. And it's kind of neutral ground. And I think going there in May, we're going to have, people while they still have some money and some enthusiasm before the summer grind starts. And, I want to keep Carl going well, too. I hope that if we get 50 to 60 cars that night, maybe 4 or 5 of them will like Thunder Mountain, stay there on Saturdays, and kind of keep him going during the summer. And, I'm excited about it. It's a great deal. We've got 6 races now pretty much planned for a $16,000 point fund. So I got a lot to be excited about, and the short track racers have a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, that was the next thing that came out was your short track super series. I know you talked about doing it last year, kind of midsummer. You brought up the idea of it, and you kind of teased it a little bit. What details have been able to put together? Obviously, you just mentioned the huge point fund.
Yeah, we've got a $16,000 point fund. It'll be $5,000 to the champion, $500 for 10th. And we'll pay everybody that runs every race with us, whether they finish 30th in points or 11th in points. They're guaranteed $250. And because we're kind of trying to keep it for the working racer, we're going to pay the point fund, in person at the last race. So at the Short Track Super Nationals at I-88 in October, we'll distribute the point fund right there. We'll bring everybody over to the horse track at the end of the night, have a quick little kind of cookout type deal, and give everybody their point money there. And I'm pretty excited. I think it's going to keep a lot of people interested right to the Super Nationals. And with the amount of money that's up for grabs for a regular guy, I mean, we have 2 events on the schedule that are against Super Dirt Series events. So basically an average Friday, Saturday, Sunday night racer is going to leave with the championship, and that's what I aim for.
Yeah, I know we've talked before, it's important for you to have the little guys do well in your races, and that's happened at the Short Track Super Nationals, and a lot of your races, it's different guys winning and getting it done and so on and so forth. You mentioned the Super Nationals. There was a story in Ariana about the split between you and Andrew. Why don't you just talk a little bit about your decision and what went into making that decision to move to ID8? I know it's something you did not take lightly, and it was something you really, did your homework on.
Yeah, it's a hard decision to move anything when you're doing well. Quite honestly, we had the highest car count in modified racing last year anywhere with 79 cars. But the question becomes, can you sustain that? And, that's where I really put a lot of thought into it. And Ronnie Ford and Jamie Page at I-88 have done, in my opinion, all the right things. They put surface on the track, they cleaned their facility up, done the announcer's tower over, built the tech building. You can just go on and on with the things they've done at the track. It's really a first-class racetrack now, and not only is it a first-class racetrack, but it's also a really nice fairgrounds. And that's where the Super Nationals fits really well, because we're able to sell reserved camping spots with electricity hookups and water hookups. In fact, I already have 15 of them sold for next year, and we're not even in the 2014.
This is John's ears just pricked
parking for over 200 race cars, which is important. The parking for the fans is there. We're also going to have a shuttle, and we're going to use a village community lot, have people park there and run a shuttle over to the track so they don't have to walk down the street to get to the racetrack if we do fill up. There's just a lot of positives. The horse track is going to be used for a pre-race party. We're planning on a Friday night party. Going to open the bottom of the covered grandstands up and have a live band on Friday night. So it's really going to be a happening and a big weekend. And if you really look at modified racing, the events that are true events involve camping. You know, the Freedom 76, the Fulton 200, Eastern States Weekend. And that's what I'm trying to build there. And at 5 Mile Point, it's not really any fault of Andy or any of the people there. There's just not the property to do it or do it properly. And that's the main reason why I decided to move the event. The Super National started at Afton. I think it's a great track for it. It's right off the highway. And I think we'll do well, once we get it established again there. And it's hard to move your signature event, but I think for 5 years down the road, we did the right thing.
Yeah, I know every decision you make is a tough one and so on. Getting back, talking a little bit about the Super Series, I know there was some, people asking you questions, well, what about New Egypt and what about Orange County? You're promoting races there, too. Where do those races play into that whole deal?
Well, Orange County will be the first points race of the season. Then we'll go to Thunder Mountain in May. Right now we're going to go to I-88 in July, Accord and Penn Can in August, and then we'll wrap it up at the Super Nationals. We do have the King of the Can, we have the Gobbler, and those events will be non-points events, but they'll still be promoted by me, and that really won't change anything because this year we didn't have any points. So we're going to continue to promote the other events, New Egypt in June there, June the 17th, and we'll have the 360 sprint cars. We also confirmed this week with the Super Dirt Car Series at New Egypt. So there'll be 6 events that fall into the point series, 3 events that are non-points for a total of 9, starting in March and ending just about December, November 29th.
Did you, one of the things you said, now, I believe we were talking about, drivers can drop one race if they choose. Is that how that works? You're going to take their best 5 finishes?
Of the first 5, Orange County, Thunder Mountain, I-88, Accord, Penn Can, they can drop their worst finish. Or if they skip an event, we'll just take the 4 that they run to go into the championship event, which will be the Super Nationals. And that's just because I'm trying to work with people that are, regular working teams. And if they can't get out of work one day, I don't want to take them out of the championship because they have to miss one night at I-88 or one night at Accord, or maybe they feel they can't run on the bigger track at Orange County. I don't want to take them out of the championship just because of that. Obviously, it's an advantage to run all 5 because you can drop your worst, whereas if you only run 4, you're going to get the 4 finishes that you had. But if you run all 5 and maybe one night you get a flat tire on the first lap and you're done, or you knock the shock tower off, we're not taking you out of the championship because of that.
Very neat deal. Very neat deal. Where can people, of course, we want to let you get back to partying here on your birthday, but where can people find out information about all of your events and things like that?
www.bdmotorsportsmedia.com, and we'll also be at the trade shows. We'll be at the Motorsports Show in Oaks, Pennsylvania coming up in January, and we'll be at the Motorsports Expo in Syracuse in March, and definitely the most aggressive season we've ever had, and a lot of cool stuff is happening, so I'm looking forward to it and hoping that we can get out of the box strong at Orange County and keep it going into the next few races.
Well, man, we appreciate it as always. Thanks for coming on tonight, and enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. Happy birthday.
Happy
again.
birthday.
And Brett Deyo here on the Creekside Entertainment. On the Creekside Entertainment Hotline. I'll tell you, more and more. I mean, he's doing some.
Where does he every year since he
bigger and
started
bigger?
This, where does it end? Where does it end up for him?
You know what though?
How far will he?
He'll go as
take
far
that?
as racing will take him.
And I say that
He's going to go as far as he wants to go. As well.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. But is frayed is the racing situation got for that period of time, 2000, 2007-ish, 8, maybe 9.
Mm-hmm.
There was nobody that really worked with the racers as well as he does. Prior to him, maybe Glenn Donnelly at the inception of dirt.
Yeah.
Where does a guy like Brett go? I mean, how far does this snowball for him?
I mean,
Well,
it can go.
he just started his own series.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
and that's what I'm saying. It's been individual race, successful.
Yep.
Now he's got the series.
It all starts with one, man. I mean, I'm not at all surprised. I've
known Brett for over 10 years now at this point, and it's nothing that's.
And I don't know Brett personally. I know of a lot of Brett's work, and he works his tail off.
I don't know how Heather deals with his hour and a half conversations on the phone. I know at home when I'm on the phone for an hour and a half.
Heather works with Bob Hilbert, so she's gone during the day. So usually I talk to him during the day.
Oh, okay. Good.
Oh, I just hit my camera. Oops.
Oh, there you go, Mike. No, for me,
look at this.
Good enough. Whatever.
Live production.
Capture his greatest moment.
I just kicked it with my foot.
No, for me, it's exciting to see a promoter that's as successful as he's been, and have that kind of touch with race car drivers, and it's from the big teams all the way down to the bottom, and man, he's kind of sucking everything in. Now he's got this 6 race series.
The thing that's good about Brett, and he promotes, but he's not promoting a weekly track, so he has that opportunity to do that where he goes out, he calls drivers, he says, hey, can you come to my show? I'd really appreciate having him there. If you ever seen him on race night, he's walking around the pits, he's thanking everybody for coming, he's giving out prizes, the guys that show up, He does all those little things that make drivers feel appreciated, and that's what you have to do in this sport. If you want guys to come, make them feel like you want them there. That means a lot. I mean, that means a lot to a guy. Yeah, I mean, and that's.
So the question is, when does he start putting on the race promotion seminars?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't want anybody to steal his ideas, man. Come on, but you're
not going to get one of them.
He's smart about what he does. He doesn't do more than he can handle, and he's got some great supporters behind him. He's got great sponsors that like Pioneer Pole Bowling and things like that help him with these different races. And again, he knows everybody. He's been around racing long enough. He was the editor of Area Auto, or assistant editor, whatever the official title was. But he got to meet a lot of drivers through that, and he's got respect in the industry now because of what he does for the little guy. I mean, and that was the guy that always, everybody wants to cater to the big name guys, and we know that because there are some fans. I'm not saying all fans, but there are some fans that just want to see Brett Hearn, Billy Decker,
that's their
Danny
draw.
Johnson. If they're not there, then I'm not going. Now, to me, I like going and
I like watching the little guy win.
I like going to the places where there's a lot of cars, and I don't care if I know one guy's name there. You know what I mean? I'd rather go and see these events and see something different.
Watch.
I don't know
7-10 car heats.
I don't know what it is, but there's always this O factor when you go to a race where you could see the same group of cars if you wanted to, or you can see a whole bunch of different guys. But I've always found myself when I'm at the racetrack, you see somebody go by and you're like, oh, so-and-so's here.
Yeah.
And it just changes the night. And when you're at one of Brett's shows, you don't know who that so-and-so might be. It might be somebody that you know from the dirt circuit.
Right.
I mean, Jimmy Phelps has run really well with him. Danny Johnson's run really well. Billy Decker, these guys that are big names other places. But at the same time, then you've got this whole other pool of drivers that he's drawing from. Like he said, these working class drivers, and any one of them could become a superstar on a given night.
Yeah. So I mean, and you look at the guys that have won the short track super nationals. It's all. I mean, I think Dwayne Howard's the only big name driver that has won that race. But I mean, Craig Hansen won it this past year.
But yeah.
Howard won it.
Howard
won it in the 126. I'm pretty sure that was the car that he won it with. Was it the 66?
I think he won it with a 66.
Oh, now I'm gonna screw it up. You know what? Somebody in the chat room would tell me. Somebody just posted. Leroy just posted. If Bub McCool ain't there, I ain't going. That is a great name. I'll give you that. Leroy. That's
we forgot.
And Bub McCool is a wild character.
You got your sponsor?
Yeah, we do.
Right,
actually,
that, and then we'll get back to it. I'm gonna do a little research.
See if you can find out those. Do some research over there.
I am.
D'Amico Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is continuing their 50th anniversary at their headquarters on routes 5 and 20 on the west side of Geneva. I was over there today. Had the chance to drive it. Finally, the Jeep Cherokee. Got in that. That thing is awesome. The Limited, I got to drive that, and then the Latitude Granite was awesome. Both of them were just awesome. You got to get over to see them. Words can't describe. But they're going to have to because I got to write a story for the Finger Lakes Times on that particular vehicle this week. D'Amico's can guarantee the deal you're offered there will be better from top to bottom than any other dealer in the area. Bring your quote from another dealer, and they will be happy to save you money guaranteed. Along with a complete inventory of new 2013 and 2014 models and fresh pre-owned cars, the D'Amico dealership also offers a variety of other automotive services, including auto loans, lease specials, a full-service auto repair shop, and parts store. Get over there, visit Mike Godkin and Mike D'Amico online. It's D'AmicoChryslerDodgeJeep.com. Call the shop, 855-261-3035. Store opens daily, 8:30 Monday to Saturday. Also, Creekside Entertainment, wrapping everything up here. It's going to be the second to last time we hear about Creekside with 31st lap for the season. They're going to take the rest of the winter off, and then we're going to be moving into the following racing season. Hope we get to team up with them again. Creekside Entertainment is now booking weddings for 2014 and 2015 seasons. They offer the best deals on weddings, DJs, DJ photo booth combos in the Finger Lakes. They offer the most up-to-date karaoke in the area and bring the party each and every week to the Poorhouse in Dundee and the Pena in VFW. Visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com or call Stu at 315-481-9700. All guests on the 31st lap call in on the Creekside Entertainment hotline.
There you go.
What'd you come up with?
It was. Zupi told me it was a 66, so thank you. Oh, and now I got a link to it, I believe.
From Zupi?
No, somebody different.
Oh.
No, Deyo. That's funny. Harry Belafonte.
Still working.
Deyo. Yeah, I know. It was funny. I do that at Utica all the time. Fans are great with it. They do it. They're awesome.
That's got to be fun.
Oh, it's awesome. I love the Utica Rome fans. Love working with them. They're
the
the
only
best.
interaction I ever had with fans when I was announcing at Black Rock was when
They
they were
yelling
trying
at
to
you?
when they were trying to rip. Yeah, exactly. When they were trying to rip the door off the booth, they kill me. Or Morgan.
I'm surprised there's a door on the booth.
Morgan, but there was two. One of them was.
Yeah, one's locked, and that's the one to the scorer's room, so they can't get in there. No,
Yeah.
No, that was another door. That was a different room. And
Yeah.
I mean, announcer's booth was before
right
you got
on
to
the end. Yeah, it's right
before
on
you got
the
the
end.
scores.
Yeah, I did a ESS race there.
That
Yeah.
place is brutal too.
Yeah,
I remember spending a few nights in the tower up there when my father was race directing and making questionable. I'll leave it at questionable call.
I remember.
I thought we were taking him home in a bag.
I remember one night we were there, and it was just this cold, nasty night, and it was running late, and there was a mistake that I made announcing in the modified feature, and both fans wanted to kill me.
All two of them.
It was like the only two people left, and they were the most, just stodgy. They're going to be there at Black Rock because if they don't go to Black Rock, they don't have anything to complain about, kind of thing, They just would not miss it, and boy, it was.
Race fans, would they ever complain? They don't complain.
No, never.
No, if race fans didn't complain, Dirt Track Digest wouldn't have a forum.
Exactly. Thank you, people. No, I mean, I joke around, but I enjoy a good debate, and usually that revolves around people complaining. But ultimately in the sport, you're not going to make everybody happy. That's all. We all know that, and there's always going to be people that are
Racing.
Like we had a whole long post this week about people whining and this and that, and then
Racing, as much as
into
people want to argue this point, racing is still a customer service product.
yes,
It's still a customer service product, and you're not going to make all the people happy all the time. It's just not going to
It's
happen.
not possible.
Nope. It is possible. It's just not possible in this world.
Therefore, not possible.
not possible. Yeah, pretty much. But hey, it is what it is. Everybody complains and everything.
I'm glad we got to talk to Brad. I'm not complaining about that for sure.
No. And let's get back to the passing points thing, since we talked in the opening of the show that we really wanted to.
You were so gentle with that.
I know.
I didn't want to get it. It's his
So
birthday.
PC.
It's his birthday.
Should have given him a good present. Give him a little help.
A good present, like a sound bashing on
Yeah.
first lap.
I think that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, because passing points are dumb. No,
But
one
they're
thing
different for us.
one thing he did do is he put on the website what he is going to do. My biggest contention with passing points has always been that fans don't understand it, because we're so used to it. We're in a modified mentality where the top 5 cars qualify, or the top 4 qualify, and this guy redraws.
It's a regimented, simple structure.
Right. It's simple, and you can see it, and you know who qualified. With the passing points,
You have no idea.
You have no idea.
Unless you have that computer system in your head to track all 8 cars, 10 cars, 12 cars, depending on how many are out there, you're not going to know necessarily. I mean,
But if
I like the fact that he's got a computer system that's going to help him out with it, because I
Right.
can't. As busy as that guy is on a given night, he's going to try to calculate
kill
that
him.
stuff too. You kidding me?
That'd kill him.
Yeah. I mean, but the one thing he did say, he's going to try to pass out flyers to fans so they can see.
Which is a great idea.
What's going on?
I mean, you
But,
you
it's-
educate your fans.
You have to, because it's such a unique system for what we do here in New York. My biggest thing is always.
But is it though? I mean, if you get a crossover fan who's a fan of racing in both the sprint and
Yeah, because
the
that's a
modified
sprint
form,
car. That's really
that's
a sprint car thing. Yeah,
That's a wingless sprint thing, isn't it?
Yeah, they do it a
midget
little bit
thing.
here. They do what? Passing points at Chili Bowl, right? That's why Bombas is in love with it. But they do. It's funny, we're talking about it. He's not here tonight. I feel bad, but
I know.
I was looking forward to arguing with him about something tonight.
The thing is, this is the second time passing points has come up where we actually
Both times he's not here.
Both times he wasn't here. Yeah.
But the hardest thing to understand as someone that's a casual fan is, why is the guy that finished 6th qualify, and maybe the guy that finished third doesn't.
Or
You know what I mean?
strictly a modified fan, too. Or,
Right.
Yeah,
So that's always where my thing has been with it. It's so hard to get that.
Look at Dr. Evil over here.
It's how many cars you pass and how many spots you get, and it's not about where you finish in the heat race necessarily. Right. If you start 10th, finish 5th, you're qualifying. You're on your way through.
I think the thing that fans will take out of that is the quality of racing that it's going to produce.
Well, there's a couple things that are going to create quality racing over there in Orange County. Open tire rules and sail panels.
I like that line.
Everybody
When they're all
pushing like a
to the
dump truck.
fence.
Yeah, they're pushing to the fence. Somebody's
going to get passed.
Yeah, but if you
I love the logic of that.
For the guys that don't run sail panels,
I love that.
Maybe a veteran, a Brett Hearn or an Alan Johnson.
Well,
because from what I hear, when you put a sail panel on,
it tightens the car up.
It tightens the car up and handles like they used to handle before they made the change over to the current style.
The thing is, you can, if you come to Utica, any of the big shows,
now
it's weekly. Yeah, right. But when you see sail panels, the guys that don't run them, the first time they go into the turn, it's
right to the top.
It is right to the top, and the front wheels are this way. They're come on, it doesn't turn. And there's certain guys that are extremely good with sail panels, and other guys that Gary Tompkins hates them.
Bobby Varen,
but the thing is, he does.
Yeah, he does well with them.
Gary does well with them. He does well with them.
And that's to my point. Is it because of his prior experience in the older style modifieds that lends it?
How much experience does he have in the older style modified?
He's been around for a while. I mean, I'm not talking 60s and 70s mods, but the 80s mods seem to be a lot tighter than what we've got now.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done with sounds.
We all got one in, but
Yep. Right. Okay.
That's Mike's way of saying shut up.
Yeah. No, it's just that's good. But again, the passing points, it'll be different. And Leroy just made a point. He goes, "It'll be great till your guy wins the first. Your favorite driver wins the first heat, and starts 18th in the feature because he didn't pass anybody." But I mean, the way passing points work is every position is assigned a certain amount of points. Then every car you pass, you get bonus points. Usually it's 1.5 or 2 points for passing a car. Then you add it up. Now I like Selinsgrove. What they do for their National Open for the 360s, they actually utilize passing points, and they start you in a heat race one way. Then the next heat is completely inverted. And then you get points.
Double
qualify. Yeah, I like that. I think that's awesome. It's more bang for your buck.
How do the drivers respond to having to do that? Because you've got twice the tire wear, twice the fuel.
But it doesn't screw you if you have one bad heat. Like if you have a bad heat race, let's say I start 10th in the heat, and then now I race up through or whatever, and I finish 8th or 9th, whatever 7th, you gain your points. But now in the next heat race, you start on the pole. Like they invert it based on the start, not based on the finish. So you have 2 opportunities to better your starting position in the field. Then they lock in like the top 18, whatever it is. And then the top 6, or the top 4, whatever it was this year, redrew. So that way you're...
Can the guy running first score passing points by passing lap cars? That actually, I never really
thought
about that until just now.
No,
I mean, if that's
I think you're maxed out once you win the heat race.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Although that is an interesting thought and an idea.
Because
if you lap somebody, do you get passing points?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's some incentive for that guy out front to drive even harder, because if he can catch the back of the field and pick up,
then you run into the problem where what if the guy pulls in and all that? Then you're, but not that doesn't affect their.
He didn't pass anybody. If they pull in, they pull in.
Right, but doesn't it count technically? Well,
everybody else gains a spot.
Right.
And so what happens if you start the heat and you're in 10th and the top 8 end up dumped into the turn 1 wall? Do you get all those passing points?
Oh yeah, you do.
You get all those passing points.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So if you're leading,
you passed all those cars.
Because there's no variable. I mean, there's no variable in there for attrition. So
right.
Why wouldn't you get points for lapping a car?
Right. You would qualify in that situation, right? Because you'd be in the top 2. So
right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so why wouldn't you get points?
It makes it
for passing lap cars.
If nothing else, it gives everybody something to talk about during admission.
Oh yeah. Yep. I believe the word you're looking for is complain about.
Complain about, and yes, intermission.
Yeah, the talk in the chat room right now is about a 360 sprint car event. If Deyo should promote one of those on a short track.
Where?
Well, they're saying Woodhall.
Was it Makatech or was it Orange County? When he used to call in the results of the local papers, like every time he'd be like, "Yeah, they were 3 wide at the finish again." every race. Weekly, yeah, couldn't believe it.
Yeah, Makatech.
These guys are amazing.
That's where I first really got to know Brett, was Makatech. That place was
I never got there.
Because he worked there as the PR guy for a while, did the program.
Yeah, when he was
and all
like
that.
12.
No, it was when he was older.
He started, but he
started young because I believe he started at White Lake actually, at White Lake, County, whatever it was then. White Lake, I think it was then. Doing the PR stuff, also did stuff at Accord, and Accord was he worked at Accord too. That was the first place that I actually earned press credentials at was Accord because I went there every week for a while.
Did you hear the word he used there too?
Earned.
There was an operative word there. He earned them.
Yeah, I wrote for almost 2 years on my own dime, like traveling, paying to get in, doing the whole deal. I didn't.
That's what
I didn't even know what press credentials
That's what
were.
Racing Russ does.
Yeah, Racing Russ goes to all of them.
He goes to, there's no place that guy doesn't show up. And he's got his notebooks, and he's got every stat that you could want somewhere in those files.
Yeah. So, it would be interesting to have that. Yeah, Dean made up a good point. They wanted, well, what about July 4th at Woodhall? And then Dean's like, oh, it's Speed Week. Yeah, we have our Speed Week again, ESS. Woo!
Is that whole schedule concrete?
I think that's just about done. Should be done here in a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
I should have something to talk about in a couple weeks when we come back from the break.
I see.
From the holiday break.
Holiday break. Yeah, we're going to be off next week.
Yeah.
Because you are traveling.
I'm going, Bombas and I are actually going to the Rumble.
And then we're coming back the first week of January. January 3rd is going to be episode 99.
Mm-hmm.
And then the week after that's 100.
Yep. Oh,
January 10th,
that's
100.
Are we taking the 10th off?
No, I'm thinking because I think I got to go to.
Are you missing 100?
No, I'll be here. I'll let you know if we're taking a week off.
No, were we still going to work on that one thing we talked about on the way out the door?
It put us a little bit. It gives us a little bit more time now that we've got next week off and then the first week of January to come back with 98 or with 99 rather. And
I'm gonna try to
long
get
as I got the
somebody
numbers
different
right,
and book somebody different. That's my goal. I've been working the Facebook, trying to find some different guys that we've never had that would be special and be huge for that last show. Or I could just twist some guys' arms and tell them, hey, you want to come do a live show at the, here in studio.
Or a combination of both.
Or both, yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe we should change it up and have, race car drivers come here and interview us.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
Didn't we kind of interview each other at the top of this episode?
We kind of just talked about a little bit of everything and everything.
We got into...
Yeah, but how many drivers want to stand around and ask us stupid questions like we ask them?
I don't know. I bet you some of them would have a good time with it. Asking
I bet
us
they would.
Idiotic questions that we could think of. How does it feel to be a news guy? I don't know. How did it feel to win that race?
Yeah. How does it feel to actually own a race car and just get to watch all of us have fun? But this week was a little bit slow on the news front. Other than Deyo coming up with 15 different things, it was
I know.
not.
Deyo planned it right.
Yeah. This, you know what, though? This is the time of the year when there is not a lot going on.
Nope.
Normally, this is the silly season when everything gets going, but
they already settled it all.
Everything's all done.
Yeah,
it seems like, boom, there it is. They had the debate about the NDRL, the new late model series coming to Canandaigua. It's got some top-name guys running. You got to be excited. Late model's coming to Canandaigua. You got a derby that night?
Who doesn't?
I think Donnie Schatz is going to be running his late model out west with that series, I think.
Is he? Was that the rumor? I
think I saw a tweet with that on
Did
it somewhere.
Now, here's a question.
I don't know. My service sucks in here, so I can't really check it out right
Here's
now.
a question. If he runs a late model, does that violate his contract? Because it's not a sprint car.
I don't know. I don't know if Tony Stewart's real huge on holding his guys to a contract. It wasn't really his favorite thing about cup racing is being.
No. But I'm saying the World of Outlaw contract. If you're a platinum member, you get all your passes and so on, like they did the Jason Sides there and had that.
Is Donnie Schatz brave enough to say, well, if that's
Screw
the
it.
case, I'm just going to go chase money?
Well,
does he have to?
But is he running against anything?
If he's not against anything, does it matter?
Yes, it does, because Jason Sides ran a race that was an open date.
Open date during the middle of the season.
Yes. Who knows?
It'll be an interesting.
Did we forget that? Was that another sprint date? It was. Right?
It was another sprint date in Sides' case, and I don't think there's.
It was at Fargo. It was running at Donnie Schatz's dad's track.
Right. Yep.
For a charity event.
We talked about that.
Yeah, we did. We did it a couple times. According to Dino Ward and Stuart Friesen running the full Super Dirt Car Series. Oh, that's cool. Pat Ward, Stewie Friesen.
Good. That's
two solid names to the resume.
I know the ride Alan Johnson fell into at the end of the year last year with the Full Throttle racing team.
Yeah, where did that come from?
I don't know where exactly it came from. I believe they're out of Canada.
Your first story of the new
is
year
to figure that out.
Figure that out and write about it so I can print it.
Fine.
You do
I'll
have.
have it to you before.
All right, expect it before Christmas.
Let's.
Fine.
Things are a little slow.
Fine.
Let's
be honest.
Before Christmas. That'll be your Christmas present.
Oh, okay. I'm waiting. I'm
Merry
excited.
Christmas.
Let's be honest here. I mean, if there's anything that you can find the inside track on news and stuff on, you've got a pretty good connection with that Alan Johnson.
And being a
Yeah,
Canandaigua,
well,
you've got.
I know.
From what I understand, that team, they had the 358 from last year, and they're planning on running Ransomville on Friday nights as a home track, and also hitting the 358 series.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that there was a second car purchased, and I still have to confirm, but I believe it was a former Matt Shepard car. Big now.
Well, they did have a fire sale.
There was a couple of them out there.
Yeah, there was a few.
Maybe
liquidated.
It may or may not. It hasn't been confirmed. I don't even know if they've decided, but they may get a big block dropped in it for series racing.
Wow, that'd be cool.
So
that'd be very cool.
I will get that information locked in,
Yeah.
and we'll get you something, Mike.
Nice.
It'll be
All
your
right.
Christmas present.
All right.
Hey.
And then you can tell me what sucks and what doesn't.
Oh, don't worry, I will.
And you can turn me into a.
I'll start with
at
what
least a
sucks,
half-ass
so that
right
way
there.
we can end with the positive.
He's gonna compliment.
Hopefully, there's something left when you're done.
Yeah, I won't be too mean to you.
He's gonna compliment.
Have
Sandwich.
at it, man.
You're gonna get the compliment sandwich. Rich, you did a good job, but
yeah, you always start with
shred.
It's like when I tell a
okay.
kid, like today, I was teaching him how to write essays this week, and it so sucks. But I'm like, this is good, but you should have done this, and this.
But if you don't count those 37 things, it was a really good first
Right.
effort. Keep up the good work.
You wrote this paper well, but you only got a 65 because those other things sucked.
Yeah.
No, see, that's the problem. When I started writing, I didn't get feedback.
Right.
Hang on.
I turned it in.
Stop right there.
No.
Stop before you make yourself look silly. I offered you time and time again that I would be more than willing to help you with anything that you wrote.
Weren't you editing the Gator when I was still submitting things?
No.
At one point
this
you
is
were.
turning into a
No, I was
At one point you were. I didn't see any emails. Hey, by the way,
you
that
suck.
was good, but this portion of your column that was 3/4 blue. You sucked at that. I did, Chris. I did have that offer.
Are you gonna whine?
No, I did. Chris did offer to.
I can't believe Chris wouldn't help you like that. What a jerk!
Yeah, dick. No, I will tell you, Chris was one of very few that offered any form of feedback, negative, positive, any which direction.
So now you got to kiss his butt. Is that what you're doing?
No, I ain't kissing his ass. I'm
no,
just
not
saying
at
he put that out there when I was handed a keyboard and said, "Yeah, you go write whatever you want." And it pretty much got printed whether it sucked or it didn't.
Yeah, that's how we all start.
All I'm saying is I was doing layout.
That's what you were doing. You weren't editing.
But if we're getting 60 to 70 pieces in on a Monday, I can't exactly shred your article for you.
Excuses.
Yeah, well.
Am I saying that right? Is excuses the word I'm looking for?
You're not pronouncing it wrong at all.
Oh, okay. I just thought
you got it good.
Yeah.
No, so I guess I'll welcome the mallet feedback.
I would be happy to do it before you send it to him.
You know
I'll
what?
be much nicer.
You know what? You might get it before it gets to him.
Oh, stop! Don't worry. I mean,
I'm not really worried.
No, it's a process. Again, we all need help, and I mean, to this day, I still have certain stories that I've written that I'll call Deyo. I'm like, hey, I can't figure out how to word this right. You know what I mean? And I'll bounce it off of him, or I'll bounce it off somebody else.
You send a copy to Mike. You send another copy to me. We'll let him edit the one that goes on Dirt Track Digest. I'll edit the one and forward it over to Race Pro Weekly. Right? Fair enough.
Boy, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was good.
I can tell you that I did get some feedback from Joe Scott Nicky one time.
That's good.
Yes, you did.
Was not positive, and it wasn't actually bad because he did hold a very professional.
That's not
tone
true.
To the whole thing. No, he did.
He was very positive. He was positive. He hated it.
He didn't comment either way. It was the tone of the email I received that sent.
If you don't get those, you're not doing your job.
Well, as a matter of fact, he actually answered.
Said the guy who owns a fan message board.
Yeah, I know. I've had my fair share of people hate me. Whatever.
I don't really give a crap if people like me or hate me. That doesn't mean
Yeah, I mean, the thing is,
Nope.
you do what you got to
Mike,
do.
He's not lying.
No, I don't.
Love me, hate me, go screw, don't care.
Yeah, we know.
I know who my friends are. Until they hit me in the back of the head.
That's why he always sits over there.
Wah, wah,
right, in the,
wah.
right in the corner.
Right in the corner. But no, I mean, hey, I'll take the more writers, the better. I look for writers. I've asked people to write. I mean, I know there's people that go to the races a lot and they have ideas and
It's funny.
sometimes they put up a little blog on Facebook or whatever.
He
Like,
made me beg.
yeah, I just one. I told him he's got to buy him a McDonald's for a year. No,
There's two things. There's two things that has to happen to write for Dirt Track Digest: fog a mirror and not be named Rich Post. That's pretty
Oh, I'm screwed. I can't do either one.
Halfway there.
Yeah,
So
no,
close.
it's again we're looking for people to help out. I mean,
Just dangling that carrot.
it is we do a lot with a little help. I mean, you'd be surprised how many of us actually do a lot of work. And
I
keep
wouldn't be
things going.
surprised.
It's so anybody that helps, we're more than happy to have it. Like I said, I've had people that I've seen write blogs on Facebook, like a long write up about tracks and stuff. I say, hey, you want on board? I mean, I'd love to have it. I'd love to have your experience. Not everybody needs to talk to drivers. If there's some people that want to just write about their experience at a track, that'd
Send
be
it.
great too. Yeah, I would love to have different stuff like that. I want unique content to us.
I'll
That's what I
start
want.
sending you stuff. We'll see if we can't class that joint up a little, Mike.
Yeah, class it up. It's fine.
Pontification pieces are always popular.
Yeah.
They are popular. People like reading those, but at the same time, when that's the only thing that you're doing, I find that opinion
gets
only
stale.
pieces exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
and
it's
that's where I was.
Well, how
when
many
I was
opinions can you
writing.
have? I mean, we have the same ones on here every week.
Yeah, and they all
Yeah.
stink. The end of that joke, Chris. They all stink.
Yep. I know where that starts.
We've certainly never run out of opinions. That's for sure.
No, I mean, right now it's tough to have a different opinion.
Thankfully, we've never run out of criticism for one another either. So
No,
there's-
so we're good. We're covered. We're covered. We've
I like
got,
the fact, Chris, that you don't censor any of us. It's awesome.
no,
Yeah, we're not
I've
censored.
never. No, that's not true. Because I still periodically mute John's mic.
Yeah, but that's just so that we can hear the argument.
Yeah.
That's not censorship. That's
not
control.
censorship. That's protecting him from himself.
That's control.
Yeah,
That's the theory that
that's-
you're going with, right?
that's
That's what we're gonna say.
that's the role of a producer.
And you're hearing this on the internet, so it must be true.
That's right. Abraham Lincoln said that.
Yep.
Oh, the internet. I love it. I love the internet. I got to tell you.
The internet's,
I do love the internet.
the interwebs.
Yep. Yep.
That World
And,
Wide Web thing.
Yep. It's amazing. It
Can
is
you-
amazing. Can you imagine you remember, like, us growing up, what racing was like before that? Like, you had to wait all week to get any racing news or get
That's
anything.
not true. That's not true though. Because when we were
Dirt
growing up,
Tracking Magazine.
Dirt Tracking Magazine was out there, and they also
Gator,
still had.
Area Auto.
Yeah, not
but
so
I'm
much
saying
those,
you
but
had to
they had the
wait.
TV. No, they had the TV show.
But it was
Doug
this week
Williams.
on
Rush Hour
Dirt,
on
but it was
Dirt.
still, it wasn't
wasn't
the following
immediate.
week. It was still that Thursday or whatever that you got to see this
So
week
is
on Dirt.
that where the internet has helped contribute to some of the downfall of track attendance? Because now you don't necessarily have to be there to know it.
I don't say look, for me as a fan. I don't think
For
or
you
as a media
owner
member
of
and,
DirtTrackDigest.com.
yeah.
.com.
Oh yeah, that's fine. But I'm not staying home to watch a race or to watch live results if I can be there. Screw
Right.
that crap, dude. I'm not a race fan because I want to know who won. I'm a race fan because I like watching the races.
But it does make it easier to make the decision to stay home when the weather's iffy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
No?
think so. Live
Well,
video, maybe.
Then let's flip that back around to change the product that you're putting on the track and make it exciting enough to get them to want to be there, no matter what the weather's like.
I would say the economy is more a factor on whether people drive when it's going to rain
Agree.
and gas prices than them saying, "Oh, I can listen to the audio."
I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say that. I'll tell you after the show because I know that it would spiral this show
I'm going to go off
downhill,
on you.
so you would rip me apart.
Oh, let's do it then.
we only have no
You know
time
what? Just
left.
say it. We got time because they're not coming in. They're all sick with the flu.
they're all sick. So
Oh,
we
they're
got,
all
Here
sick.
we go.
So we got a little bit of time. The economy is what the problem was, said the Republican.
Okay.
Go.
Oh man, really? You just threw an okay at me? I was
Yep.
so ready for you to just.
I'm actually
absolutely destroy me.
libertarian. Please get it right.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Thank you.
Okay, so
The economy is part of the problem. I mean, ultimately, gas prices are the biggest thing that affect any race fan. I know because I bought gas all summer and it sucks.
yeah,
It's expensive. I mean, when you're traveling, like I went to Ohio a bunch of times. Iowa. I mean, I do it out of choice. I do it because I own a website. Don't get me wrong. So I'm not complaining about it, but
I'm hoping that the live chat doesn't explode about that whole thing because I'm pretty much apolitical whatsoever. I just
yeah, I know. We've talked, but I don't get into political debates very often. I try to
Politics
stay out of
suck.
those because I have my own personal views, but I try not to encroach on others' views.
Mike,
if you want to think something, go
you know
ahead.
how Mike has his opinions about sprint cars and racing and things like that.
Politics is worse.
You figure
no,
politics?
no. I'm not saying that. He takes the same approach with everything that he's passionate about.
Yeah,
It's my way or you suck.
that's right. I'm right all the time.
Mike's never been wrong.
I know. At least you finally realized it.
Hey, I knew.
It's been a long time.
I'm still holding out.
There was only one day that you might have been wrong, and thankfully, I announced the Derby at Seneca County.
What day was that?
It was the day with the milkshake incident coming home from McDonald's.
Oh, yeah. Possibly. Distance a factor definitely when concerned about weather. We'll drive 12 miles in the rain to CMP. Exactly. And that's Leroy. Yeah, I mean, it's not so much. Again, I don't.
To go see Rich Post field fillers.
Hey, bomb is biting.
You got to get that bomb comment in. Yeah. No, but before the age of cell phones, we all just went. I mean, I can remember, just going. That's what I did.
Right.
So it was you just go. You didn't think about it. Dean and I were talking about this the other day. Well, you picked up the you'd stop at a payphone, call the track like halfway there, and then
at a payphone.
Yeah.
I know.
Probably with a dime.
Yeah, like you put
not
the
a quarter,
dime in.
a dime.
Yeah, you call and you see. Are you guys still
Dean's
racing?
payphones ran out of farthings.
Yeah, you had to put the button in and spin it. He's not listening anymore, so we can make fun of him.
It's like Dottie, connect me to Canandaigua Motorsports Park, please.
Wasn't it the fast lanes of the Finger Lakes way back then?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
It was at one point a long time ago.
I've always known it as Canandaigua Speedway, as far as I can remember. It's always been Canandaigua Speedway.
That's what you grew up as.
Yeah. It was always the orange Canandaigua Speedway logo that was made in 1977 and never changed.
Yeah,
it was
always.
That was all I knew that track as, and even now I know on this show. I've screwed up and called it Canandaigua Speedway before.
Well, you still call this Crash Course too, so it happens.
Yeah, can't even get
I didn't do
our own show right.
I didn't do it on the microphone.
No, you did it on the phone.
On the phone to a guy who wasn't listening. It's fine. He goes, "Hi, Mike."
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's okay.
Fine with me.
That's fine. Yeah, I set that up.
Been called worse.
It's probably the best thing he's ever been called. There, after all the shots you just gave me, I get one back in there. But
is anybody even hanging with us in the?
Yeah, there's like 5 people. We're talking right now. We're talking
Yeah.
about 5 Mile Point. Somebody asked me if I'll go back. I'm like, I have no problem with 5 Mile Point.
We do. The only thing
I cover racing. I don't have a problem with 5 Mile Point, and I'm not in the middle of what's going on there. Those guys have to deal with it themselves. That's their, between the two tracks, whatever happens with that deal. That's not. I don't have to do that. That's not. I'm not in the middle of that.
You have no political view on that?
No, I don't. It's between those guys. I mean, I deal with. I'm a high school teacher, so I deal with high school drama. I know what drama is, and kids
and you don't
the dumbest
want any part
things,
of
and
it.
I'm not getting in the middle of anything.
I subbed at the high school in Mid Lakes this week. Spent half the day doing an English, a junior high school English class, and then the other half of the day I was in the middle school. Wow, was it night and day? The high school English class, I told them what to do. They sat down, they did it. There was no question. They just sat down and did it. There wasn't a bunch of whys, and the caravan had to go to the bathroom. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was my favorite line. We got to write an essay. I got to pee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, every time.
I
had kids today. I gotta go to the bathroom. Too bad. Sit down, shut up.
Boy, you should have thought about that before you came to class.
It is my way or the highway there.
What do we
The only
give you,
thing-
30 seconds between
What I was
classes?
about to say that no,
5
they got-
minutes.
They got 4 minutes.
My school, they got 5.
5.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. It's like half an hour.
It's enough time to get out to the car and leave.
Sounds like 5.
5. Yep. It's
Does-
5.5 hours.
He's never wrong. Don't argue with
Yeah,
him.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm not.
We got some people talking here in the chat room about their drive. They drive 2 hours each week to McKean County to race from Canandaigua, and hoping it wasn't raining. That's
The late model guys?
Yeah, I believe.
I
so.
heard we had a good group of late model guys.
Also,
Down in McKean County.
yeah.
Drove an hour to Brewerton.
They listen from the track.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yep.
cool. I didn't realize that part of it.
Yeah, they were racing on Thursday nights for a while, and they were down there listening to the show while they're sitting in the pits.
Oh, that's great.
That's dedication.
Yeah,
buddy.
That's great.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
Well, I mean, I heard the late model guys from McKean County. I just kind of wrote it off as they race at McKean County. I didn't realize they were at McKean County.
Yeah, no,
at
they
the
were
track.
they were
Very
at the
neat.
track listening to the show.
Did they
so.
race Thursday nights?
For a little while.
I
they
think it
were
was
running
Saturday. Didn't they change to Saturday?
I think
nights
they're
this
at
year?
Saturday now, but it was they had a late model show at Canandaigua, and a couple of them had hauled up to race there, and one guy stopped me and says, "Hey, don't you do that internet show I said,
Yeah, that's me.
I do. Yeah, maybe. Why? Like, did I piss you off?
Which one?
So, and then they let me know that they like the show, and they sit right down there at the holler and listen in, and they were kind of digging it. So,
you know who else listens to us on a weekly basis? The folks over at Deyo Chrysler Dodge Jeep.
Oh.
They actually tune in. They catch up with the show. I think they want to make sure that we're doing their ads, so we should probably do that. Second one coming at you from Deyo Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams, continuing their 50th anniversary at their headquarters on Routes 5 and 20 on the west side of Geneva. They welcome the all-new Jeep Cherokee. The Trailhawk is coming, which is the four-wheel off-road crazy version of the new Cherokee. So I can't wait for that to get here. I got to drive the Cherokee today. It was awesome. D'Amico's can guarantee that the deal you're offered there will be better from top to bottom than any other dealer in the area. Bring in your quote from another dealer, and they will be happy to save you money, guaranteed. Along with a complete inventory of 2013 and 2014 models and fresh pre-owned cars, the D'Amico dealership also offers a variety of other automotive services, including auto loans and lease specials, full-service auto repair shop, and a parts store. Get over there, visit Mike Godkin and Mike D'Amico online, www.DeMicoChryslerDodgeJeep.com, or call the shop 855-261-3035. The store opens daily at 8:30 Monday to Saturday. And then, of course, we've got Creekside Entertainment, wrapping up our relationship with them for the 2013 year. We hope to see them back in 2014. Creekside Entertainment is booking weddings for the 2014 and, if you can believe it, the 2015 season already. They offer the best deals on wedding DJs and DJ photo booth combos in the Finger Lakes. They offer the most up-to-date karaoke in the area. Bring the party each and every week to the Poorhouse in Dundee and the Pena in VFW. Visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com or call Stu at 315-481-9700. All guests on the 31st lap call in on the Creekside Entertainment hotline.
Nice job.
Thank you.
The King County did run some races on Thursdays. They have moved to Saturdays, thanks to the folks in the chat room. Appreciate their
They would know.
their love. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it.
That's one of the things that I loved about that live chat when we had that through live stream.
It's awesome. I love being on. The only problem I get, though, you can tell that I'm trying to talk to them and talk to you, and sometimes I'm
it's okay.
brain farting here.
Yeah. Something that we just need to be aware of. Because we don't have anything waiting on the other side of us. Upstate Hoops and Upstate Orange have both canceled for Thursday night here on Finger Lakes 1. So we don't have anything waiting on the other side of us, but we don't want to go past that 2-hour mark because then it
right, we're at an hour and a half.
We're fine. We're fine right now.
Not going to go too much longer. Don't worry.
You make me nervous.
I hope not. I got to pee.
When I give you a blank slate, I never know what picture you're going to paint.
We've been kind of relatively.
We're right around where right now is when we're usually wrapping up.
Considering there's not much going on, I mean, we've had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, for silly season not being so silly.
I mean, it was silly.
It was silly. It was silly. Like right now, real fast.
October, November, bam, and then it was like, okay,
the racing season wasn't even over.
Yeah,
before silly season started,
right,
and darn near finished. Which I guess is a good thing because for years people have been bitching that nothing's been completed.
Yeah, the last few years
announced.
has been quiet. It's been real quiet, like nothing's going on or nothing like that.
We got that same boom in April and March.
Yeah, I mean, well, the big news usually is out of Pennsylvania because that's where the ride carousel usually goes. That's where everything's. But even this year, that was on Howard. BPG done. But that was.
But isn't that the second? That's the second time that's happened, isn't it? Second or third time?
I'm not sure.
I thought
it
was, but I don't know.
But
I don't know on that one for sure.
It's not a late model. He doesn't know.
Well, that's not.
Oh wait,
true.
no, it's not a derby car.
Well,
that's better. That's a better analogy.
Stop that.
Did your second magazine come out yet?
You don't. Do you care?
Yeah.
You know what? I take time. We can actually take an interest. Well. I feel like I'm fighting with a woman right now. I take time to take an interest in something you care about, and then you mock me for it.
You are fighting with a woman.
Whoa! Wow!
Remember those 9 shows I made last week?
Wow, man! Yes, actually, they did. They did. They did drop, and they've been pretty well received.
Yeah, and we do care.
Thank you.
Maybe not about the derby portion.
Thank you. Even
but we
better.
care that
Thank
you do well.
We also just, if you want to bring it up, we also just cut a pretty big deal with the Keystone Nationals in Pennsylvania, and at that event, the guy that runs that show is really heavy into late models, and he and I are working together this year, and they're going to be sending out sponsor packets. Once you register, you're going to get in the mail your registration packet, and all of the event sponsors have their decals in it, and you have to put those decals on both sides of your car.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like with the late models.
ESS does
yeah.
it. We give everybody, you get a sponsor kit, like if you want any contingency prizes and stuff.
Right.
It's no different than NASCAR. NASCAR does the same thing. Like you have to run certain decals and all that. That's
so
most
of the
good.
series
that's
do.
going to be a good way. I mean, I think if tracks wanted to help drivers out more,
Well, there's
maybe
that.
do
There's
some-
that program.
Oh, I think NASCAR does it. Like I know the weekly series guys.
Yeah.
They have to. They're like I believe the Utica cars will have to run a certain packet of sponsors that come with being NASCAR sanctioned. I believe.
When I was at With Raceway, there was something, and I can't remember now what the name of the contingency program was, but it was a bunch of different companies. Schoenfeld Headers and Arrow Wheels were both involved with it. And if you put those stickers on your car, you had the potential of making money every week. And one guy who finished well in his division had all the decals on his car, and he walked away with a couple grand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he made some good money off of it.
Very neat.
Yeah, it was cool. So, our decals are going to be in that. Smashed Empire Films, Derby Inc. Magazine, and Crash Course are all going to be in that. So every car on the track is going to have those decals
within
on
that late model series or within the Derby series?
with the Derby event that's run by Bo Lockwood, who's a late model guy. And so I mean they're looking at it a much higher platform than just a bunch of rednecks smashing cars in the backyard.
Well, I think when they're spending that kind of money on the cars, they're a little bit higher up than rednecks trashing cars.
Yep, it's pretty cool. I'm real excited about it to be part of that, and we're looking forward to moving ahead with it. I'm also making the roof sign for the raffle car, and that driver that wins that car will be able to take that roof sign home. So that'll be kind of cool. Okay, I'm done, Mike. You're good.
Okay, you done now?
Yeah,
I gave you your time.
Mike, wake up.
I wanted to.
What day is it? Oh man,
It was only 27 minutes. Actually, looking at the clock, I think it was only 3.
Felt like 27. Listen, I was target practice last week.
I know, you're right.
I got somebody giving me crap.
He
about
He did take some pretty hard shots last week.
It's okay.
All right, I got something going in the chat room here. We're talking.
What do you got?
Well, they brought up the conflict that we were talking about between Brett and Andrew. The conflict is the date. That's what I was talking about. And he asked me if I was going to go to 5 Mile Point, and I said, "Yeah, I'm going to 5 Mile Point. Why would I not? I don't have an issue there." You know. And now he's debating. I feel like I said something wrong, but I don't think I did. Right,
Mike? You're never wrong.
No, but did I?
I don't think so.
Obviously
all right.
not.
All right,
No.
all right.
You're never wrong.
Miscommunication, maybe. I don't know. I can't see the
Yeah,
chat
I mean,
room.
I'm not. I don't know what we're debating. You know, Harpel and Deyo. I think they're two different entities. Brett is a special events promoter, and Andrew's a weekly promoter at his track. He does the ROC for both pavement and dirt, so they're different deals, obviously, entities. Now, the whole super schedule or super series and ROC, that might be a little bit of a conflict, but
All Brett's doing is putting together a points program for the shows that he already had.
Right.
I
see nothing wrong with that.
He's not. I don't think he's doing anything wrong.
I mean,
he's not going out and actively asking tracks to
Yeah,
host events under the Brett Deyo sanction. It's not like he's putting together a series along those lines.
No, and I don't think he's poaching drivers from
no, I don't think
one
so either.
series or another.
No.
I think he's
got
pretty
his
much
group of
across the
drivers.
board.
He's got his group of drivers that have already come to those events in years past, and those guys are just going to have a little bit more. I don't know if it's even fair to say a little bit more incentive. They're going to have more reward waiting for them at the end of that rainbow because they're going to come run his shows anyway. He's got his pool of drivers.
Right. Yeah, he's got his 30 to 40 guys that make every show.
Right.
Yeah.
And if there was conflict, it can be nothing but good for the sport. I mean, if there's a conflict between
it's not conflict, competition.
Competition.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. The competition of it. If you're worried about somebody going to a Deyo show instead of your rock show or your advanced show.
Not advanced anymore.
Not advanced. Your super dirt series show. Then you better start towing the line and stepping up a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
either
not
they're
just
going to go. They're either going to go run the shows that they've already run before, or they're going to branch out and run ROC, or they're going to go run one of those skull races.
Yeah.
Always got to be an ass. That's a good question. Do they have to be present? I don't know how that works. On the Super Nationals deal.
Do they
collect their point for money. I don't know. I didn't ask
Well,
that.
obviously. I don't know. Some places you have to be present at the banquet to get your money. Other places you don't.
I think Brett did say that they need to be. It was something that he was.
I'm not going
to.
Let's not speculate.
I don't want to speculate.
But
if we re-listen to this, I think he did address that.
It'll be on demand, available on YouTube. Look up the 31st lap.
Yeah, because Leroy said, well, technically, by dropping the worst finish, they could go to 5 Mile Point that night. That's an interesting point. Definitely. So I don't know on that. I don't know. I would assume, but let's not make any assumptions.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Makes an ass out of you.
There and me.
I said that.
Yeah. Yep. I was gonna say yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Yeah. Okay.
So I jump first.
Yeah, with your physique.
Yeah.
Just don't be under me when I land. You'll be fine.
We digress and pick on each other, but
Yeah, and I move quicker than you think.
Zuby bringing up CRC Chemical Schaefer shows. Well, we're coming up with every name that the series has ever been called.
Well, it's changed so often.
So, hey, good times. Good show tonight. I think we had fun.
You
debating
think
some
Stu's got
different
any chance of winning the phase race at Syracuse this year?
It's, you know what's sad though? Think about all the sponsors we can name that unfortunately are not in racing anymore.
Oh yeah,
I mean, there's so many.
there's a lot, dude.
I mean, they've moved on to something different. A lot of them, and some of them aren't even around anymore.
Kodak was on one of the series at one point, wasn't it?
Kodak, like tobacco, right?
That was Kodiak.
Kodiak,
That's
right?
Kodiak. I thought I remember from something way back was
Yeah, it was a yellow number 4 car. Didn't Ernie Irvin drive it?
Yeah.
yeah. Rick Wilson was in it before that, you dick. It was an Oldsmobile.
I thought you were going to cry when David Gravel said he's not running Mopar anymore.
Oh my
He almost
god!
did.
He was like, "What? What? Oh my
Come
god!"
on.
But
David, good luck getting rookie of the year next year doing that.
Oh, what do you think?
Somebody put a bullet
Zuby
in
is
this thing.
listing everything that used to sponsor Ground Round,
Ground round, right?
Wheels Discount Auto Supply.
Yep, wheels.
Just can't get along without my wheels. Wasn't that the commercial?
Yeah.
Right? Because it was on Billy Decker's car.
Yeah.
Bug Chaser.
I was just gonna.
The bug
Chaser. Crap bracelet. Didn't work. It didn't. I'm telling you, that's why it's no longer around. It didn't work.
Mike's still pissed.
Oh yeah, paid like $4 for that thing. I was a college kid sitting at Brewerton.
Gould's Pump doesn't have anything invested in Super Dirt Week anymore, do they?
I don't think so.
Haven't heard
I
that.
don't know if they've got anything invested in racing at all anymore.
I don't think so.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, hopefully somebody will step up and we can get. It's nice to see Napa on board. I mean, that's good for
Yeah,
racing.
and they've been loving their response too. I mean, they really.
Well, they really stepped up, though.
They stepped up. I mean, and you look like STP with the Outlaws. I mean,
Yep.
that's huge. So there's some.
You were
good
talking about
sponsors.
meeting drivers earlier.
Yeah.
So I was covering the NASCAR race at Watkins
Is
Glen
this a random
2
thought that
years
just came to
ago.
your head?
No, it was something I wanted to bring up earlier.
No,
but
he's been
you
sitting
mentioned
on this for an hour.
STP. You mentioned STP, and it
Okay.
reminded me. The last time I met Richard Petty, I was like 8 years old. So I wanted Marcus Ambrose so bad to win that race in not last year, but 2 years ago at Watkins Glen. He finally does it. Richard Petty is on the grounds, and in the media center, they bring in the car owner, the crew chief, and the winning driver. So Richard Petty's right there. He's right there. I didn't ask a question. He gets off the stage, comes over, starts talking to some of the PR people. Richard Petty's standing right here, and there's this big belt buckle with a 43, the king, the whole thing. And I'm sitting there, and I can't think of a thing to say to this guy.
Scared.
Oh my God! Just
Scared
completely.
poopless.
No, and I wouldn't call it scared.
Wet his pants.
I wouldn't call it
In awe.
I wouldn't call it scared, but it's one of those things like, what the hell do I say to this guy without looking like an absolute tool?
Well, what can you say to him that has never been said before?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. What do I say to him that when he walks away, he doesn't shake his head thinking another
What
freaking
an
idiot guy? You know
I think he's been thinking
I've had
about
my fair
idiot
share of
media
those
guys, yeah.
interviews where the guy thinks I'm an idiot.
what's that?
I've had my fair share of those where the guy thinks I'm an idiot. Usually he's right, but
Oh, but it was one of those things like I finally had a chance to say something to the king because he's
he's a Mopar guy.
That's
He's your
right.
guy. He's your guy.
man, he's standing right there, and I'm like, humming.
Yep.
Yep.
That was it. Nothing. Wheels went
I was
blank.
trying to think the first guy that scared me.
It was, I'm pretty confident that it was better to have said nothing
Then
and
say
not
something
look stupid
stupid.
than to
Yep.
try and find something.
Because now when
Yeah.
you go back, he's not going to remember that's the idiot
He's
from
not
3
going to
years
remember.
ago.
Even if he did say something stupid, he's not going to. Unless it is something totally asinine.
I am going to remember, and I will have to live with that, for the
story for
Yep.
the rest of
Yep.
your life.
Yep. I don't need another story like the 358 tour incident. I don't need a second one of that.
And the 4-star escort service.
Because
Number 4.
I especially don't need one of those stories that is a self-inflicted wound.
Yeah. Yeah, you did it to yourself.
I am mature enough in my life to know that sometimes it's better to shut the hell up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay. Don't feel bad. I've had Tony Stewart. I've spoken to the guy for a half hour at a time when he's come to CMP. Had stuff sitting right there just to get the autograph at the end of the night.
Forgot it.
Nope, didn't forget it. Just wouldn't pull the trigger. Didn't think it was the professional thing to do.
And you know what?
You know,
I agree with your decision not to do it.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Yeah,
I do.
and
You know,
what?
I'll tell you this. I have
His
an
crew,
autograph.
but his crew guys told me, listen, if you don't want to do that, bring it to us. We'll have
That's
him
what
do
I
it.
did. We'll
get it to you on the side.
I had
and
a photo.
I still wouldn't do it.
I have a photo of me interviewing him when he raced with ESS at Glenridge.
How cool.
Yeah. So it's me and Victor Lane. He finished third that night, or second or third. So I had I gave it to one of his crew guys when they came to Brewerton. Like I was announcing for the All-Stars, and I gave it to one of the All-Star officials who gave it to the crew guy. He said he'll sign it at some point. He signed it for me, and I don't like bugging guys either. We'll go to Knoxville sometimes. Like this year, DC took this amazing shot of Brady Bacon racing side by side with Kyle Larson in wingless cars, and they're both the 69, the Hoffman Brothers 69 cars, or Hoffman Racing 69. So I had both Larson and Bacon autograph them, which. I'm not an autograph guy, but it's just cool. It's a great photo.
Right. See, now, if I was going to a show like that, I have no issue walking up with something that I've got to have it signed if I'm not there.
If you're not working.
Some kind of capacity that I'm working, whether it's a media end or
if I'm working, I try.
You go to Knoxville as a fan.
Well, I'm working. I'm technically writing.
You are writing.
I write for Area Auto. And
are you in there on a credential?
Yes.
You are.
Yeah. But I do like the autograph thing. I do that about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like. Sure. Guys are just hanging out by the race cars, whatever. Right. Fans are walking through the pits.
Right. You're not putting your recorder away and saying, "Oh, by the way, could you throw an autograph?"
Right. No. And again, I like to get just if I have cool stuff for me. Every now and then, I'm like, "Hey, Jimmy, can you I have some photos of Jimmy Phelps. I'm like, Jimmy, can you autograph this for me or whatever?"
Well, I got.
See, now I would walk up to any of the modified guys at any point that run, that I know from just being at CMP, the series shows, and I guess it's different for me when it's on this scale. I'll walk up to those guys and...
if you know them, if you're friends with them, you can be like, hey, dude, can you autograph this for me?
I was nervous as anything when I got that Dover brake car signed. That one that Dover Dave signed it?
Yep.
And my God.
Yeah, Dave Crushing signed it for you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dave
and Bobby
Dave
Varon.
And Bobby.
And Bobby Varon. And did Buzzy sign it?
It's not signed yet, but it is. I'm working on going down to Florida in February.
All right.
And that car will be taking
I'll be there.
That's cool.
Let me know.
Flying or driving?
I'm flying.
Mike flies everywhere.
I am freaking driving.
I haven't decided.
I drive to Knoxville. That is a freaking enough.
That's far.
That's 14?
That's 14.
14 hours.
And the ride home from Houston's last year was 19 or 20. Oh, my God. South Dakota.
Yeah,
that's it, dude. 20 hours in a car.
How far is Knoxville from Nebraska?
I don't know. I don't want to go there ever.
That far on the
Actually,
map.
it can't.
It's not far.
It's what? It's 5 hours across the state of Iowa.
Right.
So it's got to be right. They're connected, right? Or is it
Iowa and Nebraska touch? Yes.
Now,
they
of
are
course,
connected.
I'm a history teacher, and I don't freaking know off the top of my head. You got my racing mode right now. I'm not teacher mode. Yeah.
Curiosity. My brother lives in Omaha, which is damn near in Iowa.
That's where Digital Express is. That's who printed the magazine.
Are you gonna drive out there and?
No, I've thought about driving down and catching the Nationals and having my brother
meet you there.
Drive that short distance over and meet me there
dude, it's worth the trip.
I'll make it at some point.
You got to do it.
Right now, I'm debating on whether I'm taking a February trip to Florida or a November trip to Charlotte.
Oh, that's a tough debate. Look at it this way: Florida, you get more racing because you get 5 days,
right?
And you can see whatever you want. I mean, if you really want to, you can see asphalt modifieds, you can see wingless sprint cars, you can see 410 sprint cars, you can see late models, big block modifieds, UMP modifieds. I mean, whatever you want to see, man, you can see. Yeah. Yep.
No, plus my father-in-law lives fairly close to there, so I have a free place to stay, and I'm cheap.
There's a big deciding factor.
Yeah.
Sounds like Florida's your winner.
What's it cheap? How's it cheap? Sorry, I was in the
chat room. My father-in-law lives right down in that area.
Yeah. Where's he?
So,
where?
Ocala-ish area.
Okay, yeah, that's about an hour and 45-minute drive to Volusia.
Yeah, he's within an hour and a half,
or an hour drive. Yeah, because what I used to do is I would do pavement, or I do the Volusia the first few nights for the Outlaws. Then I did some pavement racing at New Smyrna, and then I would do the USAC sprints over at Bubba. And then you could also go to East Bay for the 360. I did that too. I did all of those different things.
And you hit Daytona.
And hit Daytona
there too.
Yep.
Yeah, and I've never been to Daytona either.
You know what you got to do? Go to the duels.
Yeah, I don't.
But they're at night though. That's what kind of sucks. But
yeah, I have no interest in watching the 500 from Daytona.
No, I'm watching it at actually GT George's Kid. I'm watching it at their house, and then I'm flying out like 9 o'clock on Sunday night from Tampa. So that way I got to
better hope they don't run into problems with the 500.
I don't care. I mean, if I don't see the end, I don't see the end.
Juan Pablo's not there to hit the jet dryer. You'll be safe.
So,
well, he is not. You're right.
Well, I'd say Florida. If you want to see more racing, go to Florida, and you got a free place to stay. That's the way to go. Although I do have, I don't know if my parents are going to Knoxville, but I do have 2 rooms reserved. Just saying. It's only like $600 for the week.
Wow.
Yeah, well, or $580 something, whatever it is. And it is a classy joint. It is a definite 2-star. Out of 12.
You're about 1 higher than I'm looking.
Well,
to
they told me
spend.
I got brand new carpet in the hotel, and I look and it's like those carpet squares, and they're all different colors. It's like they just bought like the bargain bin and put different colors down. See, you think it's funny, but I'm literally not joking.
There was an 18-wheeler accident. That was what was left on
Picked
the
up
highway.
off the side of the road.
Grab what you can.
Hurry quick.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're
Anyways,
talking about carpet now, so...
What do you think? We're done?
I think we're headed that direction.
We're done. Well, I got to say this. Happy holidays. You know what? Screw that. Merry Christmas to
Yeah,
everybody
Merry
out
Christmas.
there. Happy New Year. And we definitely look forward to being back here in 2014.
For episode 99.
99. So.
And then we'll find out when we're going to have episode monitor. Because we plan ahead like that.
Yeah, we're awesome, aren't we?
Yeah, if we're good 2 hours ahead of time, we're okay.
Yeah.
Or in this case,
I had
as we're
gravel,
sitting in
what,
studio.
Tuesday?
Yeah, you had gravel Tuesday.
I literally worked all weekend trying to find different guys, and I could not get guys to respond or whatever.
Yeah,
and
but
again, some guys said, "Oh, I'm here, I'm there, I'm doing this." I'm like, but
it's fine.
Yeah, but we had Deyo locked in like 35 seconds before we called him.
yeah. Well, no, I asked him on Monday
I know.
too because all the news was coming out, and he had said, "Well, it's my birthday. I don't know what Heather had planned, so we want to make sure, So
yeah,
can't piss
surprise.
All right, we're good. I think that's going to do it for this edition of the 31st Lap, episode number 98. In the books, heading up to episode number 99 the first week of January. We are off next week, so everybody have a great holiday. Merry Christmas. And we appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. We'll talk to you again soon.